crisis for the geek kind. Top geek officials admit they underestimated the hipsters' defense capability. Join the geek revolution and save the galaxy. Geeks from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future. They're doing their part. Are you? Want to know more? Join Weeby Geeks and the Geek Revolution and save the world. Service guarantees citizenship. Listen to Weeby Geeks podcast on iTunes and Stitcher or online at weebygeeks.net. Weeby Geeks, your voice for the Geek Revolution. Want to know more?
The definitive 365 cut. These are the meaningless ramblings of a Scottish we-done whore and a pissy ex-video store clerk. Their ongoing mission is to set right the movie wrongs. They're gonna need a bigger podcast.
Hello everybody in listener land with your earbuds in or on your phones or at your work computers listening to the 365 Flicks podcast, episode 41.
Wow, that was a wordy opener.
That was slightly a bit more wordy than usual.
Bit of an old school opener as well.
Yeah, we didn't do the
record scratch.
No record scratch. We just let Williams' music speak for itself. I don't feel that we have pimped him enough as of late. So I just want to say thanks again to Will for the theme tune.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a cracking theme tune.
When I listen to other people's podcasts, like our theme tune is a cut above, to be fair. I mean, it has to be said.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anybody out there, like if you were making a top 5 theme tunes, we'd be number 1.
We would be number 1, yeah. That's that.
And you're not hobbying that shit, are you?
No, we're not hobbying that shit. No.
Nope. So
anyway,
this is episode 41. It feels like it's been a few weeks. We kind of...
because it has.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
It kind of has been. I mean, I got like a dose of the mouth aids and I had to get my wisdom tooth taken out, so I am slightly thicker than I was on the last episode because of that. Wisdom tooth and stuff.
Well, you're thicker and I'm not drinking, so we're this is gonna suck balls tonight.
Yeah, I really I want to put this out there. If you're a new listener or if you are an old listener who's come back again, by the way, if you are, we love you. Thank you very much. We need to know something by the end of this episode. We need a little bit of like poop shoots on this. Like, I feel the quality could suffer because neither of us are on the drink.
Possibly.
So
I did say that last night to someone. Yeah.
If this is your first time and you cut off in about the next 10 seconds, we will take that as a no. Like, the quality has fell off some way.
Yeah, but don't do that because you'll miss all the podcasty goodness later on.
You will. We've got a lot of good stuff coming up later, but we just want to put it out there that if this is one of our worst episodes, it is because neither of us are having a drink, which makes us sound like a right couple of alkies.
Done it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just, it's good to make sure you can.
Yeah, to see if the banter's still there.
No, just not have a drink.
Oh, right, yeah. No.
It's always best to check every now and then.
I can do that sometimes, like for Lent and stuff.
What the fuck is Lent?
Lent, it's that whole Christian thing where people give up stuff.
Don't bloody bring that bullshit up to me. Yeah, I'm in a bit of a bad mood because I'm not having a beer. So just don't start with me tonight, all right?
Okay, I won't start. We'll keep it civilised. So tonight, though, on the programme that you're listening to, we are going a bit of news roundup. I have got lots of news. None of it relevant. All of it pish because, to be honest, it's been a slow news week.
I've got a few bits and pieces there as well. But nothing to rant about.
Nothing to rant about.
Not really.
I feel I might pull a rant or two out of you.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I've got a few things that as I saw it, I was like, I don't really want to talk about that, but he will rant if I do. So I'm putting it in there.
It'll be really upsetting as if I get more of the spacking with like on Coca-Cola.
I feel it would happen. Yeah, let's just clear that up. We don't do Coke on the podcast.
No, we do not. Yeah, it'd be upsetting if I got more of the smacking with on Coca-Cola than I did on beer.
I get the feeling that that's a given.
It doesn't really make a difference, yeah.
Because we're not on the drink, we're probably going to be like overthinking what we're talking about. Because normally once you've had a couple of drinks, the lips get looser, the mind gets, the cogs start turning, and then you just say whatever you want, really. But if you're not drinking, you're going to be like, oh, I really don't want to offend people.
You? Really? No.
Yeah, not me.
No.
Not me. So, yeah, we're going to be doing the news. We have an interesting little segment that I'm looking forward to doing. I finally get to talk about one of my favourite British TV shows. We won't spoil it just now. We'll do that a bit later. But we're going to go into it because I've been telling you to watch it for 10 years.
Well, no, the last series just finished last year, didn't it?
Well, yeah, but I've been trying to get you to watch this, and you seemed very reluctant to do so. So you finally watched it, so I get to talk about it.
I wouldn't say I was reluctant. I was just kind of meh.
We'll be jumping into that, and that will be awesome. I can't wait for that. We have a top 5. I'm keeping the title of that section. I'm not shortening it down just because Dev thinks it's a bit wordy, all right? Dev,
I thought it was wordy, and I was right. So
Dev, we love the bones here, man. I love arguing with you every 2 minutes because that's clearly what you just want to do, is to argue with me. But I'm not shortening it for anybody. So we are doing a top 5 of actors / actresses who you love that are in more movies than you think. That's not that wordy.
it is wordy.
It's not
It's
that wordy.
ridiculously wordy.
And we will be finishing off the night with the movie I asked you to watch because you lost your title shot. I am still the 365 Flicks champion.
Yes, you are, for now. I'm coming back for it, don't you worry.
I think I'm going on, this got to be like my 6th month or something with this title. I'm getting a bit like John Cena with the US Championship.
When did we start it? Was it WrestleMania? Was that the first one?
WrestleMania.
No, it was the Oscars. It was like February, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, because I won it on a
So
technicality.
February. So you're 4 months into your reign.
4 months into
4
my
months
reign.
in.
That's not a bad run.
It's a dark time.
That's
It's
not a
dark
bad
time.
run. Is that like the PG era? And so Chris will be reviewing 1985's classic Clue. How'd you get on with it?
I'll tell you later on.
So no hints.
No.
But before we do all of that, I just want to pimp out the networks that we're on. Would you like to do that?
Sure, why not?
See if you can get it right. See if you...
I'm mostly good. I'm getting better. I'm mostly getting it right.
See if you forget any. See if you get them all. Just go for it. Have a go.
Okay, tidy. First of all, you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. Just look for @365FlixPod. You can also find us on many networks. Look for us on the Tangentbound Network, Wiki Radio Network, Nerdly.co.uk, We Be Geeks, and Geeky Antics Network Global.
Wow.
Motherfucker!
It's the drink. It's the lack of drink.
Sorry.
And you can.
But that's me now. I'm spent. I'm screwed for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, if you are listening to us on your iPhone or iPod or any of your Apple devices, which you probably are because most people are, hit that subscribe button, rate, review, let everybody know about us because it all helps in the algorithmy way on that thing. I mean, or you might be listening to us on Stitcher. I don't know why you would be, but you might be. So do whatever you can on there, or your third-party apps. Just press that like button. Let everybody know about us. Just get the word out there.
Just tell someone.
Just do it.
Give these guys a go because they're awesome.
I was speaking on the live chat on. How you do the live chat on the PC and stuff on the laptop. I was on the Odeon website.
Like AOL?
Yeah, like AOL. I was on the Odeon website because I was trying to find out about some sort of ticket prices on, those limitless cards that you get at Cineworld. I was trying to see what Odeon kind of does for that because, we go to the Odeon quite a lot. So I was like, might as well have a look at that.
Is that because they pour your popcorn for you?
Yeah, because they actually give you your popcorn in a cup and, I don't have to go and get it myself.
Although, to be fair, we went to that cinema to see Civil War.
Right.
And they got your popcorn for you, didn't they?
They did.
That was like 10 years ago that happened.
They did, which was awesome. But then, they bring it to you in, a paper bag. So when
Isn't that how you're supposed to eat it?
No, you get, a cardboard carton. You don't get a paper bag because then the one thing I was realising as I was watching that movie is I can hear everybody dipping into that popcorn. And if I can hear everybody dipping into their popcorn, they can hear me dipping into mine.
Well, I could hear you dipping in your fucking popcorn.
Because it was a paper bag. I'm just saying, Cineworld, get your act together, please. So anyway, as I was saying...
Don't get popcorn.
I was on the live chat thing, right? Talking to one of these... They call themselves superhero helpers at the cinema company.
That's cool.
Which I thought was pretty cool. And I got him listening to the podcast... As you do.
Nice.
So I'm just saying, no avenue is too small. Don't think that you're whoring us out, because you're not. Just put 365 Flicks in the comments box. Get people to go, oh, what's that? They'll click on, they'll have a listen. And if that's the lengths I'll go to, just just want everybody else to. So what have you been up to?
Just the usual. Just, just working and
Just
working
trying to segue into
looking forward to a podcast, and then working, then looking forward to a podcast, and then
what
working.
other people's podcasts or ours?
Well, ours mostly. There's a few others.
Yeah. I was basically trying to get you to segue into the fact that we went to see the Damp Night, guys.
Oh shit! Right, okay, I did not get that.
No, I got that you didn't get that, so I thought I'd give you a push in the right direction by blatantly just telling you what I was trying to do.
I need to have a beer the next time. This is not good enough. This is unprofessional.
This is not unprofessional. So basically, last Friday night, we went to see an improv comedy group, local lads where we live. We've been meaning to get them onto the podcast for some time now. It's just things kept getting in the way. They are coming on though.
They are, yes.
We're looking to record soon, so that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to do that episode. They are called the Damp Night Productions. They kind of do sort of like Whose Line Is It Anyway / Mock the Week / Give Me a Clue, all that kind of thing. You know that program with Shane Ritchie? No, that wasn't. That was Win, Lose or Draw. Anyway.
I have no idea what you're on about. Anyway, so we went along to the Maltons Berwick to see these guys on Friday night. We were really pleasantly surprised about how damn funny it was.
We were. I mean, we kind of thought, and I said it to the lads afterwards when we were in the bar having a bit of crack, we were kind of thinking, like, should we maybe go and have a couple of drinks before we sit down to this and just, loosen up our...
Well, a lot of things like that, it does help if you've had a few glasses of beer to, as you say, loosen yourself up on that.
Yeah.
But we didn't really have time for that because you were arsing about.
Yeah.
But... we didn't really need it. I thought it was...
By arsing about, you mean family dinner.
Well,
so, let's just clear that up. I wasn't just being an arse. Family dinner and stuff. But,
more than usual.
But crack on with your berating of me.
I'll do that later. So basically they pick different topics, or they get the guys in the audience to pick different topics, and they do different sketches and what have you related to those. They were very, very funny.
Yeah.
We were a couple of newbies going on. We'd never gone into one of their shows before. They had a lot of repeat visitors, I guess you could call them. I think they're kind of Ross was saying later on. They're slowly building up a nice little sort of cult following in Berwick. Yep. Not saying they're a cult. They've got a little cheeky following in Berwick building
they're all
up.
into Scientology and stuff.
Oh, no, never that.
We could do with that in Berwick.
We don't want them in Berwick.
Yeah, we could do with Scientology in Berwick.
Would you join? Would you?
I would think about it, but I don't think I'd be Elron enough. You've got to be like a certain you've got to have so many. What is it? You've got to have metachlorians and stuff.
Do you?
I don't know how Scientology works. I think it's all.
Isn't it just you have to be rich?
I think so. You just give them all the money you can, and then they let you in.
Anyway, so they'll build up a nice following for themselves. I'll definitely be going again to see it.
Yeah, definitely. The show was called Turtle Recall, which was cool. Check them out. They're on the Facebook. They're on the Twitter. They're called the Damp Night Productions.
They also have a YouTube channel.
They have
as
a
well.
Great YouTube channel. All the videos are going to be going up for the latest thing that we went to see. So I'm looking forward to those videos going on because I'll be sharing them all over the place on our Facebook. And like I say, there is an episode incoming. They're going to be coming on. It's going to be what did I say on Facebook? It's going to be 7 guys, 2 hosts, and 1 cup.
Wow. I'll definitely be on the beer for that one.
But yeah, they're coming in for an episode shortly, and yeah, I can't wait for that. But I digress. Let's jump into the episode, and let's start with the news. News.
Wow. Yeah.
We don't have a news tune.
We don't need that, Pesh. No.
Bit like self-righteous, isn't it? Having a news tune.
Bit pretentious.
Like news of the geek and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But let's just crack on with the news. So what do you have?
Yeah, I watched a video on the YouTubes today, and it was about the E3. It's coming up. I think it's next weekend. It starts.
Big game thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this upset me. Apparently, there is a PS4 exclusive Spider-Man game coming,
Aye.
and I'm upset.
Why?
Because
you
I've
don't
got an
have
Xbox.
PS4. Yeah. Self-explanatory, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does this really upset you?
Well, yes, I want a good Spider-Man game, don't I?
Well, there's nothing to say it's going to be good just because it's on the PS4.
But it might be good, and I don't have a PS4.
Well, surely they'll port it. Nothing's exclusive nowadays. I know they try and do the exclusive.
Well, no, apparently it's the same company that brought out Infamous,
all right,
which is a PS4, because it's owned, the company that makes that is owned by Sony.
I tell you what, with an infamous, fuck me, with the company that makes that game,
Yep.
that could be a really good Spider-Man,
Yeah, I know.
because that game's cracking.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I can't believe I just fluffed that totally.
Yeah, I know.
That could be a cracking game. I'm actually quite excited about that, but I too have an Xbox One.
I'm just going to have to buy a PS4.
Oh, the hardships.
I know, right?
I'm sure you'll be fine.
I'm sure it'll be alright. Yeah, that annoyed me though. Because it's, you know, we've got the Batman games, the Arkham games, which are awesome. Apparently the guys who did Arkham Oranges are working on a Superman title.
Well, Superman Oranges.
Superman Oranges.
I would
maybe,
totally play
maybe.
Superman Oranges. If that was like you just flying around like picking oranges off trees.
Like flying through oranges. Yep.
That would be pretty cool.
I'd be okay with that game. Like that. Yeah, so...
Well, on that, because we're on game news,
Yeah.
and I was going to do my little bit of game news at the end, but you started off with game news, so the Batman Return to Arkham, have you seen this?
Is it like an HD thing of the
Yeah,
Arkham
the
series?
remaster in the Arkham Asylum and Arkham City
Mm-hmm.
for the PS4 and the Xbox One, which I think will be cool. It's going to be like fully remastered, and
You know, I might do a cheeky purchase
I'd
of
play
that.
those
I
games.
like those games. I think Arkham City was probably my favourite of them.
yeah, Arkham City was pretty. That was the one that was like the whole city, and you just had the wall around it.
Yeah.
And the Joker was a clone or something. No, he wasn't a clone.
He wasn't a clone. He was...
Clayface. Clayface was pretending to be the Joker. Oh,
What was the
something
actual
like that.
Joker? Anyway. Aye. Yeah, I'd buy that. I'd give that a go.
Well, good news, buddy. It's coming out this year.
Oh,
It's
tidy.
coming out in July.
Yeah.
And the other thing was that Telltale, the decision-based gaming company that make The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, all those cracking games that I absolutely love, their Batman game is coming out this summer.
I read that. I'm not really... I've got the Back to the Future one.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's good.
Mm.
I've never really played it properly, though. Because
You played the Game of Thrones one, though, didn't you?
I played, I think, the first 2 episodes. I kind of just forgot about it. I've never played the Walking Dead one.
Oh, the Walking Dead one's great. The Walking Dead one is great.
Yeah.
When the first series, you were like the little girl.
You've told me about that.
You were
Yeah.
the big guy. You were Lee. You were looking after the little girl, and they kind of fluffed it because in the second series, they didn't fluff it. It was still really good. But in the second series, you were the little girl, and you kind of you were in a group of adults, and you were this little kid, and they were all listening to everything you said. Like every plan was your plan. And I'm sitting there thinking, in what reality is a bunch of adults going to follow this little girl around?
Didn't you see this week's Game of Thrones?
No, I didn't actually. I've not watched it yet.
Oh, okay then.
Is it just swearing saying cunt of every 2
No,
seconds?
it's not. No, he doesn't get to say that.
Damn. Oh, well.
No, they're Jon Snow and Sansa and what's his name go and try and get an army
Right.
from one of the houses who's sort of like in allegiance with House Stark,
Right.
but the house is, I want to say Mormont.
I thought you were going to say Mormon.
Mormont.
Like Jorah.
Is it light? No, I want to say the house is called Mormont, but it's like it's a little lassie that's the head of the house, and she's fucking awesome. Honestly,
Evil.
no,
No?
she's just awesome. She's a bossy little bastard, and she knows what she's talking about. Honestly, it's really, really good.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not dealing with Game of Thrones. I'm not doing very well with it.
Speaking of Game of Thrones, then
It's coming to an end, isn't it?
it's. I think I said to you on Saturday night past there. It's the producers have kind of said they're approaching the end
Mm-hmm.
of their story, so maybe 1-2 seasons left.
Is
Possibly.
the next series is supposed to be 7 episodes?
Yes,
though,
that's
isn't
what I
it?
was going to say to you. That one of the directors of this season was asked in an interview, so are you going back for season 7? And he said, well, no, because it's only going to be 7 episodes in the next season, and they've
Right.
got their guys that they like to use for specific episodes. So 7 episodes?
That's,
Is it because they're running out of story to tell because bloody Beardy Face won't
Yeah,
finish the
aye,
book? Hasn't finished the book.
that screams it's coming to an end. That screams it's over. Which
I reckon, honestly, 2 more seasons and then they'll finish it with a movie.
two more seasons in a movie.
Yeah.
What was it 7 seasons in a movie?
6 seasons in the movie.
6 seasons in a movie. I mean, I'm just not sticking with this series. I'm not. I'll be completely honest with you. When Jon Snow woke up, I tapped out. I was just like, oh my god, like.
But you knew he was going to wake up.
It was the worst kept secret ever in TV
It was
history.
bullshit. It was.
And then it happened, and I was just disgusted that it actually went there. Like there was a split second that I thought, how awesome would it have been if the makers, was it Weiss and Benioff or Benisoff? How awesome would it have been if they had him on set? It was the worst kept secret ever, and then you had the first 2 episodes where he was lying on the table, so you think he's coming back, and it turned out the creators were just trolling the fuck out of you.
I would have been okay with that.
I kind of sat there thinking, I would love that. It would just be so in keeping with the show. We're going to make you think he's coming back. We're going to have him on set for months on end, and then guess what? He's not coming back because he's actually dead. And then they could say, and you stupid idiots for thinking he was coming back.
It was one of the worst kept secrets ever in television.
It was, but I think it's going to be overtaken by the time October comes, when we already know who Negan kills, because that's not going to be a secret for much longer.
Yeah. Well, they're filming it soon, aren't they?
We're filming now.
Right.
There's pictures on set and everything.
Oh.
I saw a picture the other day, and it had Eugene, Glenn, and Norman Reedus. All 3 of them stood together, on set, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, neither of you 3 are going to die, so there you go. There's 3 people ruled out.
So you've got all these arseholes taking pictures of them on set, and someone's going to figure out from the photos, he's not there.
Of course.
Coral's not there, so it's
Don't say Coral. We need Coral. He's keeping the show going. But yeah, let's get off the negativity train with the Game of Thrones and the Walking Dead. In the last episode, I brought up the whole Ocean's 11 thing, the whole reboot, the all-female reboot, which we don't have a problem with because we like ladies on this show. We just want to put that out there. So it turns out that Sandra Bullock is still a go. Jennifer Lawrence is apparently struggling to fit it into a busy schedule because she's got another 6 Hunger Games movies to make. It turns out that they now want Oscar-winning Cate Blanchett for the Ocean's 11 all-girl reboot.
She's too good for that pish, isn't she?
Well, I thought, if you're going to go for anybody of that caliber, you would go for Helen Mirren because she will literally fucking do anything nowadays. She will. Cate Blanchett's still quite choosy about what she does. So, I don't know, maybe she's going to read the script and be like, nah, it's all right, I'll do that.
Yeah, but Cate Blanchett's surely still at the stage of her career where she's trying to win Oscars.
Yes. And she can still win them.
Yeah.
She can still win them. But yeah, she's rumoured to be the number 1 target now in the sort of Brad Pitt role. Cate Blanchett in an all-girl Ocean's 11 remake.
I'm not buying it, but, I was never really a huge fan of the Ocean's 11 movies anyway. I think I saw the first one, it was okay. Mm-hmm. And then didn't they do 3 after that? Or something, 2 or 3 after that?
2 more, because it stopped at Ocean's 13.
I don't think I saw the second or third one.
Had Al Pacino in it.
Is it proper Al Pacino, though, or bloody Jack and Jill Al Pacino?
It was proper Al Pacino. He was Al Pacino in it all over the place, but he wasn't quite Jack and Jill caliber. Right. Jack and Jill's it's a lofty height to ascend to. So he's brought his A game.
Okay.
But that also brought me on to my other bit of Oscar-winning casting. Have you seen this? I think
are you going to say Anthony Hopkins?
You're going to like this one. Yep. Oscar-winning Sir Anthony Hopkins has been cast in the new Calvin Klein underwear model Marky Mark movie directed by Michael Bay, Transformers: The Last Night.
Yes, I...
Happy with this?
Made a note earlier on of this, actually. Anthony Hopkins joining Transformers Last Night. Will you actually do any old shit for a payday now? Apparently the answer is yes.
Yes. Yeah. The answer was always yes. Yes.
The answer wasn't always yes. Oh, come on.
Come on, he's doing a movie with Marky Mark. Marky Mark. With Michael Bay at the director's seat.
I've heard of Marky Mark. I've heard of him.
He's sitting in the chair. Give me more explode. You have to assume that it's another sort of Hugo Weaving voicing Megatron and Nimoy voicing...
Was Megatron even in the last one?
Not the last one, I don't think.
Oh, they did, because they did... they didn't, but they called him that anyway. Fucking, what is it? Galvatron. Mm-hmm. Which was bullshit.
Yeah, it was pretty bullshit. It was just Megatron, really.
Oh,
but you also had Nimoy voiced... who did Nimoy voice in the third movie?
Oh, it was the big bad. Was it The Fallen?
No, that was the second movie. But even I have to admit, when I sat, we went to the cinema. Did I go to the cinema with you to see that?
I have never been to a cinema to see a Transformers movie.
I went to the cinema to see Transformers 3, and I was sat in the breaky necks, I was right down in the front row, kind of sitting looking up like that, which in IMAX was awesome, but because everything was sort of falling on top of you, so the IMAX really worked at that stage. But I was sat there watching that movie, didn't even realise it was Leonard Nimoy's voice. And then, like, is it right near the end when he stood on the thing and he says the needs of the many?
Yeah.
And I was sat there going, oh, how fucking stupid do I feel?
I actually, I mean, I've never liked any of the Transformers movies because they just fucking, it's just raped my childhood, bastard day.
I'll agree with you.
I was about to stab you in the face with a pen if you disagree with me. But yeah, I remember thinking on that movie, it's bad that the one bit of the movie that I like is a fucking reference to a Star Trek character.
Yeah, exactly.
That was literally the only bit of the movie that I liked.
I did like it.
Utter shite.
I liked it when he dropped that. But we have to assume that Anthony Hopkins is only doing a voice. He can't be acting in this movie. I'm not having that he's acting in this movie.
Well, he plays all, kings and shit and like old wise men and stuff like that now.
It is called The Last Night. That's all like oldie worldy stuff, knights and stuff, and Templars and Transformers.
Horseshit.
Michael Bay explosions.
Mm-hmm.
Look, as long as I don't get a Transformer that has Michael Big wrecking balls for nuts, I'm happy. As long as I don't ever have to see that again.
As long as I never have to see fucking Optimus Prime riding Grimlock again.
Or what about the two in, I think it's the second movie, the two robots that are clearly Will Smith and Martin Lawrence from Bad Boys. When they're like, hey man, I'm a robot! Yeah! Give me some Skittles! Stuff like that. Right, so next bit of news.
Yeah, speaking of Bay.
I love Michael Bay. Come on.
Mm-hmm. I know he didn't direct this, but he's a producer on it. Apparently Turtles 2 is getting absolutely hellish reviews.
Oh.
Apparently it sucks balls, apparently.
But Stevie's in it?
But then, how much sort of weight the critics have now, like for us to well, we're not going to get into argument tonight.
No.
But after the whole B versus S thing, where the critics were just fucking,
the critics are clearly out of touch,
hacks,
so they can go suck a dick.
I was really pleasantly surprised by the first Turtles movie. I went expecting to hate it because it was Michael Bay on it, purely because they nailed the Turtles characters. I actually enjoyed it. Now, I was watching the Angry Joe review of it,
right?
And normally he calls it pretty, pretty well, yeah. And he said the story is fucking shite, but again, they nailed the Turtles characters,
which is all you want. That's all you want.
I don't think I would go to the
movie.
cinema to see it, to be honest with you, but I'll wait and watch it for free.
I will admit I wanted to go to the cinema to see it, but no, I don't have time to be going to see that in the cinema. I'll watch it, like you say, when it comes out, and I can watch it on Netflix or some shit.
That'd be fine.
There'll be a decent copy floating about soon enough. So we were on about reboots a second ago.
Cool.
Have you seen who is... I mean, the studio are truly showing us how much they hate the fans right now with the Ghostbusters reboot. And I hate to flog a dead horse with this Ghostbusters thing, but have you seen who's doing the Ray Parker theme tune for the new Ghostbusters movie?
Is it Will Smith?
Given who is doing it, I might have given Will Smith a pass on this one.
Is it? Just tell us.
Fall Out Boy.
Oh, Jesus.
Fall Out Boy and Missy Elliott.
I like me a bit of Missy Elliott.
But when was the last time Fall Out Boy or Missy Elliott were relevant?
Well, yeah, when I signed up for that Tidal thing, I went back and, because back in the day I owned a couple of Missy Elliott CDs.
Mm-hmm. So did I.
So I went back and searched for her, and I think the 3 that I had, there was maybe 1 more after that.
Yeah.
So I don't think she's done anything for a little while, but
I think she just kind of turns up on other people's, because Ruby's a big fan of Little Mix, isn't she? She loves Little Mix. She went to see them in concert, and on the album there's like a duet with like Missy Elliott. And I have to admit, like, I'm not going to say I love me Little Mix, love me some Little Mix, but like a few of their songs I find them rolling around my head when I hear them. Sure. And Missy Elliott came on, and I turned that shit straight off.
Oh dear!
I mean, I used to like Missy Elliott.
Is it too angry for you now, Kev? Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is. Like when she's like spitting in your face and hushing your mouth and all that good shit. Like no, the last time I liked Missy Elliott, did you ever hear the Busta Rhymes song "Touch It"? And they did "Touch It," and then they had a remix with all these different rappers in it, and Missy Elliott was in that, and she was banging in that song. But everybody was. It's like. Really good song.
I can't think of that one.
Proper Busta Rhymes, like in his heyday. I still love Busta Rhymes.
I think probably that's not going to be the worst bit of the film.
No, it's not. But it's just like you've now taken a classic movie from back in the day, and everybody's already hating on it. Probably. I wouldn't say as much as they were going into BVS, but people are still going into this movie with a lot of hatred in their hearts, and now it's going to be wrapped up in a Fall Out Boy song. And I really hope they're not doing, like, who you're going to call Ghostbusters, because that is going to suck ass. It's going to be like when Alien Ant Farm covered Smooth Criminal. Remember that shit?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Again, not a massive Michael Jackson fan, but Smooth Criminal is a tune.
You get some people saying, "Oh, I prefer the Alien Ant Farm one." Fuck yourself.
Who said that?
People do say that.
People said that.
Morons, I think they're
People
called.
said that, right? Okay, yep. Let's move on from that because I'm getting quite angry now. Rogue One reshoots. Where do you fall on this? Because people are now saying that they're running to the hills. They're scared because Rogue One needs to be lighter and funnier. Like they're just getting on this whole bandwagon of like.
No, they're not. No, they're not. It happens all the time.
Well, exactly. Like
they did a few test screenings of the version that they've got, and they said, right, okay, we need to maybe change that scene around.
Mm-hmm.
We need to, that scene's not light enough, like, or whatever. So let's reshoot it. It happens all the fucking time.
These big budget movies, they plan reshoots into their schedules
And budgets.
So what the fuck? Like, it's like, because they did the whole thing with BVS, and then it was like, right, we're going to go into reshoots for Suicide Squad and all that, and apparently that was a huge, like, I can sort of understand where people were going with that, but it's bullshit, because reshoots are part and parcel. Mm-hmm. It's just that they don't get as much exposure as maybe something else,
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
You know what? I'm a Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah.
I was watching one of the documentaries on the big bumper version that you got, the extended versions, and it had an interview with, I think it was Elijah Wood and Viggo Mortensen. I think it was those two, and they were saying after, because they filmed them sort of back to back,
mm-hmm.
And after they'd finished shooting Return of the King, they kind of went home. And then they got called back to New Zealand for 6 months to do reshoots,
which would have been awesome.
But I did kind of think, oh, fucking diddums.
Exactly.
But nobody, that was a good few years ago now, Lord of the Rings. But nobody was going online saying, "Oh, Lord of the Rings is in trouble."
They don't. And so why this? Why this? Is it just because of all the backlash?
Because it's Disney and it's a big budget movie and it's Star Wars, and people want to look for problems where there aren't any.
Yep. Well, apparently, Gareth Evans or Gareth Edwards, the director?
Edwards?
The guy that directed Godzilla.
Yeah.
He's basically now come out and said that he knows what the problems are with the movie. He knows what doesn't really work for him. So, because he knows it now, he wants to change it now instead of waiting a couple of months and doing it. So, fair play to him for coming out and saying that. I mean, I don't necessarily think it needed to be justified. I think people just need to,
shut the hell up.
Yeah, shut up and get off people's dicks.
Take your tweets away, man.
Yeah. I mean, I like a tweet as much as anyone. So the Flash movie has found its new director. It's the director of Dope. That Rick... I've got his name here because I'm definitely going to fuck this one up. Rick Famuyiwa? Yeah, Rick Famuyiwa. He directed the movie Dope. I mean, Dope was alright. Dope was quite good.
I've never seen it. I think it's on my Sky Movies list now.
But the thing I do like about this, he's not exactly a high-profile director, is he? So the last director who they lost because of creative differences, I get the feeling that this guy might just shut up and do his job, hopefully, and just crack on with the movie. So
Fair enough.
That's all I have to say about that.
Okay.
No, I do, I'm glad they've got somebody in who... Because Dope isn't a bad movie. It is quite good. It's got its funny moments, it's quite a serious film as well, and I'm quite looking forward to seeing what he does with the DC kind of, the Flash. I'm still looking forward to the Flash. I'm still looking forward to every movie DC's coming out with, and I was just happy to see that it's got its director.
He was just being a douchebag, basically.
I still maintain when it's like your second or third movie, you just do what the studio tells you.
Yeah.
Yeah, until you've made your nut, and then you do whatever you want.
Are there many directors who can, unless you're like a Spielberg or a Whedon or whatever, who can just have a studio like DC or like Marvel saying to them, no, you need to do it this way, this way, this way. Are there many directors at the moment out there who would go, no, fuck yourself, I'm not doing what you say, I'm doing what I say?
The only one I would have maybe said would still do that, however, after the last movie that came out and the hatred it got, he's probably going to do what they tell him to do now, is Zack Snyder.
Really?
I think Zack Snyder's the sort of person that would make the movie he wants to make, but I think he's going to have to clamp down a little bit and just kind of do what he's told for a while.
Maybe Nolan.
Oh, Nolan, definitely.
If Nolan went back to DC tomorrow
Yeah.
and said, right, I want to make another movie for you guys, but if you come anywhere near me with suggestions, you're getting told to shut the fuck up. I think they would back off and let him do his thing.
Yeah, they might listen to Nolan. I'd like to think they would, because the Dark Knight trilogy is still, you know, it has its low points, but it's still a standout trilogy in superhero movies. You know, probably one of the most perfect trilogies in superhero movies. Like, you know, I'm not saying it's a perfect trilogy. I'm just saying, like, in the comic book verse, it's pretty stand up. It's brilliant. So I would like to think that if he came back on board, DC would just say, yeah, have at it. I wouldn't like to see him come back to Batman, though. So what would you want to see him come back to?
Green Arrow. 'Cause that's basically Batman. Green Arrow.
I'd like that. I'd like that.
I don't want him near Superman because I kind of want to see a bit of a lighter version of Superman.
So Zack Snyder again.
No, I wouldn't want him near Superman. I think Green Arrow.
Yeah, give him a pop at Green Arrow.
Yeah, with Stephen Amell.
With Steve. So while I was talking about The Flash there, it has its new director. Have you seen the rumours about Channing
I saw something
Tatum?
about him moving from DC to Marvel, or was it the other way around?
Other way around.
Okay.
Apparently,
He's ditching Gambit and going to Shazam?
Apparently, he's completely ditching Gambit now. It's, obviously, this is all still part of the rumour mill. However, it was said that he wanted Shazam, or they wanted him for Shazam, or there was a bit of confusion. Like, basically, it was looking like Shazam. But now, the rumour that came out yesterday was basically saying that it could be either The Flash or Shazam.
The Flash?
Yeah.
To play the Flash?
Not to play the Flash. I'd like to see him as the Flash, but yeah, apparently that's a thing now. It could be either the Flash or Shazam.
If he was Shazam, we'd see him and The Rock on screen together. I'd be okay with that.
That's what I want him to do. I love me some Channing Tatum. I love Jump Street movies. What do I love more than Channing Tatum? The fucking Rock. So if you put those two in a movie together,
yeah, I'd watch that.
I'm all in for Shazam if that happens. Like, right now, it's probably the one movie on the slate that I'm the least... Because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a Shaquille O'Neal movie from back in the day. But that's probably the one movie I was a little bit like, it sounds a bit, you know? And then they cast The Rock, and I was like, meh. And then if Tates goes into it, I am all up in there.
Yeah.
I'll watch that.
Okay, then.
So do you have anything else?
I do, yeah. Speaking of DC.
DC. Because we're a DC podcast. We might as well be. DC Flicks podcast?
No.
Crack on.
No. Someone we didn't know, remember?
News.
He's not on Marvel anymore. But anyway, Superman is going to be on the first episode of Supergirl Season 2.
Is he, though? Or is it going to be another blurred kind
Apparently
of...
it's going to be him.
Is he going to be sending her a Snapchat message of his cock, or... Is that not what they've been doing so far? I mean, I don't watch Supergirl. You're the Supergirl fan. Like, I don't watch it, but have they not been doing that so far? Where
They've
he's
been speaking on the internet. Yeah.
Really? Like Yahoo chat rooms?
Yeah, like an MSN chat room kind of thing.
Krypton.com. I could buy them on chat roulette. That would be pretty cool. Anyway, crack on.
Or if you just did it and you just got Superman's cock on the screen.
Who's he going to play? Who's going to play him, sorry?
I want Tom Welling.
And you know what? With it going to CW, it could be done.
Get it done.
I would like that.
Yeah.
And then bring in Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor again. Because we haven't seen Tom Welling play Superman yet, to be fair.
Other than like the last, 10 seconds of season 10, was it? Or season 9?
Very last season, whatever it was.
I think it was season 10. Yeah, I'd be happy with Tom Welling.
I would love to see Tom Welling reprise that role. Actually, or Dean Cain. I'd be alright with that. But was Dean Cain not already in it?
Dean Cain's already in it.
Alright. Is he in it loads, or...?
Yeah, kind of. Not loads, but he plays the adopted father of Supergirl. So,
are you looking forward to this coming back? What's the crack with it having like a musical crossover, like Buffy style?
Oh, you're joking!
I saw something about it, but apparently Stephen Amell's like totally like debunked
No
that.
way!
I'd watch that once more with feeling, but
well,
like,
you can't touch once more with feeling.
You can't touch it, and why would you? But
it's a good episode of Buffy.
It's not a good episode of Buffy.
It fucking is.
It's not.
It's
about as good as the Angel episode when they all turn into puppets. For fuck's sake,
that was good too. Sean.
Get away with you! Right, what else you got?
Yeah, a bit of negativity is again. Yeah, I know. Apparently, Top Gear episode 2 lost 1.6 million viewers from episode 1.
Is that not something that was like guaranteed to happen?
So yeah, Yeah, I've not watched it. I didn't watch it. I don't know if it was good or not. I don't. Pretty much everyone that I know that did watch it said it was shite.
Yeah.
But
I don't imagine it being very good.
I know there was quite a lengthy discussion on the Facebooks last week about it all. That's why I wanted to bring it up, just to keep it going. But yeah, that's a shame. It was a good show. I'll not be watching that with that ginger prick in there.
I did when I went into work last week, or was it this week? Oh, it was last week. Somebody who was in the van before me must have been listening to Radio 2 or Radio 3, whatever the ginger guy's on, and it was him hosting the show, and he was addressing the critics, saying that, well, the figures speak for themselves. I can't do his accent, I can't do his voice, but he's all like, the figures speak for themselves because we got 6.3 million, which is like the highest viewing figures in any opening summer show. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, it is going to get that. Even if the show's shit, it's still going to get those figures because it's the first episode with a new cast after all the controversy last year. Everybody's going to tune into that. You know, of course they are.
To see if it's shit or not.
Yes.
And then week 2, people who saw if it was shit or not have tuned out.
Still, though, of I think he said 6.36. If they only lost 1 million, I know 1 million's a lot of people, but that's not too bad. And half those people that didn't tune in probably taped it on Sky Plus or something, and they will watch it.
Probably. I mean, yeah, maybe.
It's still shit figures, and it says a lot if they've lost 1 million in a week.
But I'm sure they were getting like tens of millions of people watching it.
They were in its absolute
before,
heyday, apparently, but that's just... I mean, I don't like Top Gear. I never liked it anyway.
I liked it.
The only
wrong.
The only one of the last 3 that I remotely liked was Clarkson, and not when he was on Top Gear. I preferred like his books, his biographies are brilliant. His column in the papers is absolutely fantastic because he just says it how it is. But on Top Gear, I always felt like the BBC were breathing down his neck.
Yeah.
As they do.
Hopefully they'll not get that with Amazon. A bit more positive stuff.
Yay!
Now, I was speaking to you, I can't remember when, about Homeland. I think it might have been Friday night.
Yay! Oh, it's got another like 10 series, isn't it?
It's been almost sort of confirmed by Showtime that it's gotten 6, 7 and 8.
Yay!
I'm good with that.
Can they give Claire Danes some laxatives though? I
don't know.
To get rid of that crap face acting.
We've got connections now, surely you can just type a little email or a tweet and just ask.
I'll just send out an email and I'll be like, just get her to have a
Claire
crap.
Danes must follow us on the Twitters.
Obviously, duh. I'll tell you who does follow us on the Twitters now. Do you want to hear this?
I don't know, do I?
One of the producers of the movie Turbo Kid follows us on the Twitters now.
Yeah.
So stop your slander.
I'm starting to feel like a bit of an asshole with this, you know.
I think you should, because that movie is incredible.
Well, no, it's fucking not, is it? But I'm starting to feel like a bit like a bully.
You do slam it quite a bit, and it upsets me. And you know what? He took time out of his life to make that movie. So he now follows us. That's like a legit follower. So you know what? Just back off of that shit, buddy. Because he's obviously, he's wanting to see good reviews, good reports.
Well, make a better movie then.
And when you say, put it this way, it's better than Turbo Kid, that's not a good report.
I didn't enjoy the movie. I'm not going to pretend I enjoyed the movie.
That's
all right?
Fine.
Not everybody likes all the movies.
And that's fine.
So anyway,
I'm just saying he's a legit follower, so back off.
Thank you for following. The movie wasn't for me, but if other people want to watch it, that's fine.
Yes.
However,
I'm not getting an email off that guy.
Having said that, I did listen to the Nerd on Nerds review of it.
You had beef.
I do have beef on that.
You've got beef on this.
4.5 stars out of 5. Are you fucking mental? That is ridiculous.
It's a good movie. It's got nostalgia. It's got 80s. It's set in the future of 1997.
It's got killer unicorn bikes. I mean, what is not to love about that movie? Uh-huh.
You can go back a few episodes and you can listen to Chris's review, but I wouldn't suggest it. So
dare you?
How dare you, sir?
It was a damn fine review. Look, I'm not an asshole. If somebody likes the movie, I'm not going to call them all the pricks in the world. Just some of the pricks in the world. But 4.5 stars is ridiculous. So my last bit of news. Have you got any more before I do this one?
No, that's
okay.
I did have one, but I'm not that fussed with it. So
last bit of news, then we'll move on to the next little bit. So the Daniel Craig is no longer going to be Bond.
Yeah.
And a little bit of detail has come out about the TV show that he's going to be doing.
Right.
So The TV show is going to be called Purity.
I already hate it.
It sounds a bit sort of like spying, and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of what it is. So it's been granted 2 seasons, 20 episodes over 2 seasons. This is a hell of a description of the show for you. So this is a quote here: a decade spanning tragicomedy.
Tragicomedy, fuck me.
That builds up to a contemporary climax.
Wow.
A tragicomedy.
I have plenty of contemporary climaxes in my days.
Mm-hmm. A tragicomedy.
Tragicomedy, I like that.
I want to throw up in my mouth. Fucking tragicomedy.
Where did they come up with
I have
these?
no idea. That was just, it was on Daniel Geek today. And that's how the makers or the channel or whatever who are putting it out, that's how they describe the show. Tragicomedy. So I kind of gather from Daniel Geek that it's going to be like a sort of murder, mystery, spy, thrillery type thingy. So you may as well just be doing fucking
James
the next
Bond on TV.
He's got to get work while it lasts, because it's not going to last very much longer. Look at Pierce Brosnan.
Exactly, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's doing a bunch of straight-to-DVD shit now, isn't he? So,
which is fine. That's good for some people.
Sure.
That's what Van Damme and Seagal do now. So if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for Brosnan.
Pays the bills.
Pays the bills, exactly.
I wouldn't say no to it. Just anybody's wanting to offer.
So from one tragicomedy to another tragicomedy, the Flash and Arrow finish.
Yeah, let's talk about them.
Do we have to?
Just for a little bit.
Okay. Well, the Flash sucked, and Arrow sucked just as much as the Flash. So
The Flash sucked, and Arrow was okay.
No. What happened at the end of Flash again? Arrow again, sorry. I know what happened in Flash. The producers basically came through my TV and punched me square in the face and said, "How do you like that? See what we did there? How do you like that? And then I sat there and went, I didn't like that at all. It left a horrible taste in my throat, you bastards.
There really isn't any... Let's just... Spoilers ahead, by the way.
Yeah.
Spoilers ahead for this little bit. There really isn't any need at all for a season 3 of The Flash.
No, because they could end it now.
At the end of season 2 of The Flash, Barry decided to go back on his big decision at the end of season 1 where he was crying all over the place.
Yep.
So he decided to reverse that decision and go back anyway to stop his mother from getting killed by fucking... What was it? Reverse Flash. So he decided to do that anyway. So he goes back in time and rewrites time. So
ridiculous.
There is no Flash now.
Ridiculous.
But at the end of the series, he was still all mopey and shit.
Yep.
That's getting on my bloody nerves now.
Ridiculous.
He was still all mopey and shit. He was still having his dinner and what have you with Joe and all that.
Redonkulous.
And ends up sat on a step outside Joe's house, mopey, and he was going to go in and find himself or some fucking shit. But your mum's still alive. Where the fuck are you going?
Honestly,
bullshit.
Honestly,
bullshit.
man, I absolutely could not believe this is the season finale of your second series. That's like a, I don't know, 6 series in. You do some shit like that when it's shocking. But essentially, at the end of series 1 and series 2, he's made the same choice, just made a different choice each time. It's bullshit. But anyway, the Arrow was absolute terrible as well.
How did Arrow end?
He snapped Damien Dark's neck. That was about... Well, no, he stabbed him with the arrow. He killed Damien Dark.
That's right.
So he's all murdery again. Thea went away to discover herself. Diggle signed back up to the army.
Yep.
And it was just him and Felicity stood in the Arrow Cave. Fucking... I suppose it was the same as Series 1, so it was a nice little callback to that. But... and then he got sworn as the mayor.
That's right. What was wrong with that? I liked Arrow.
Everything. They do this... Every series now, well, not every series, but most series, the group always splits up at the end. It's like they don't know if they're getting renewed or not. So they end the series with everybody going their own way, and then they have to bring them all back together in the first episode again. And it's just like, fucking change the record, please.
Yeah, you made a very, very good point regarding the flashbacks.
Needs to end.
The flashbacks for me, and I think you agree with me here, because it was your point.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me agree.
You're very welcome. The flashbacks in this season did absolutely nothing for the story.
It's killing the show.
Cutting away from the big epic fight where the Damien Dark's guys versus the the people of what the fuck is the name of the city? Star City, Central City,
you know what?
Astro City. The cities in the DC universe are stupid names.
Yes, apart from Gotham.
Yeah. Metropolis is okay.
Metropolis is
Star City, Central City. Shut up.
Aye, Capital City, Star City, Central City, City, Shitty City. You know, they're all crap.
Shitty walk.
That one. Hello, welcome to Shitty Walk. That was awesome.
Wow.
You know what my thing is? Like, Dark's people all the way through this series have been armed with, like, machine guns and stuff like that. So why, when the citizens of the city decide to throw down with Damien Dark's people, do they no longer have weapons? And they go into fisticuffs? Because if it was me and I was, like, one of Dark's, like, crew, I would just stand back with a machine gun and wipe them all out.
Mow them the hell down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Flash finale. You know, they explained in the flashbacks, fair enough, he got his tattoo thing and all that.
The tattoo that I forgot he had in the present.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
I know, I'm agreeing with you.
Those flashbacks are killing this show.
Yeah.
Surely we've only got one more series of it, though, because he was only on the island for 5 years. So we're going into series 5.
Like, he's back and forth to the island now. I mean,
he does what he pleases, man.
He's been to, like, Singapore or Hong Kong or wherever the hell.
The man does whatever he wants. They just retcon that shit every series.
Yeah. The flashbacks annoyed me as well. You're taking time away from the big battle with the big bad, which I thought was good. I did say to you, at times it felt like an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer where there was a season where, I think it was season 4 with Adam, where Buffy couldn't come close to touching him. He was just too powerful for her, so they involved magic and stuff, and she invoked a Slayer and all that, the first Slayer spirit to fucking kick the shit out of him, and it was awesome.
Your face was fucking brilliant. It was awesome.
Well, it was awesome. Shut up. But yeah, it felt like a little bit like an episode of Buffy. I was okay with, because it like, what was it? If he had some people believed in him, so the magic kicked in, and that's how he was able to fight him and stuff.
So the Freddy Krueger him.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about Arrow anymore.
I don't really think it needs a bunch of magic in there and stuff like that. Maybe that's a big part of the comics. I don't really care. I
was incredibly disheartened with both season finales.
Flash can go fuck itself. I'm still into Arrow though.
I'll come back and I'll watch them, but there was no need to do that in the Flash right now. This was way too early to be playing these kind of games. It screams just, what the fuck was that about? What was that about? You killed his dad purely so you could bring his mum back. What is that all about?
I have to say, I think it was the second last episode. Zoom kidnapped or like sort of pinched Barry's dad, and he was holding him by the neck, and he like put his hand through his chest, and there was a close up of Grant Gustin, and he was like screaming no, but like a tear thingy down his face.
Come on,
oh, that was good.
That's just classic Gustin, though.
Yeah,
that's what he's good for. That's why he's still in that show.
Yeah, he needs to stop whining though. Yeah, I know that's the character. He's a bit whiny in that.
He does whine an awful lot,
but he needs to stop whining. But yeah, if you've been building up for way too fucking long, a big bad, don't finish the season with a fucking race.
a race against time.
No, a race against Zoom.
Yeah, no, it was bad.
That's retarded.
It was terrible.
Come on.
It was terrible.
Yeah. So, on you go then.
So we're going to move on to talking about an awesome British TV show that I absolutely love and you have only just watched. But before that, I'm going to play a quick cheeky promo.
Hey guys, this is Nick from the Epic Film Guys podcast, and you are listening to the 365 Flicks podcast. Not only your source for great movie news, outside of our own podcast, of course, but also your source for everything from The Walking Dead. And all of this comes from a pissy ex-video store clerk and a Scottish Whedon whore. Your vocal heroes of pissy opinion. It is, again, the 365 Flicks podcast. Please jump over to iTunes and give them a rating and follow them on Twitter at 365 Flicks Pod. And now here's a little taste of what the Epic Film Guys podcast is all about.
Even when the composer wasn't that great, they were like no-namers, but they come up with these iconic themes, which
even films
you
that
get
are complete,
in your head.
Even films that are complete shit fests, like
garbage.
Stallone's Judge Dredd. Dun dun
dun dun dun dun dun dun dun dun. Like that theme is so iconic, it sticks
Don't
right in
call
your
that
head.
movie shit. We both know that's your favorite movie of all time. All right.
It definitely is one of them. I will readily admit to that.
A little bit. Let's put a little more lighthearted feel in this.
What are you doing
retrospect.
down there, Judge Hershey?
Waiting for backup. Hey, Diane
It's
Lane. Diane Lane, man.
So that was the epic film, guys. They put that together for us. I think that's pretty snazzy.
That's pretty cool,
I like how he gives us a little shout at the start, you know. But I mean, a Scottish weed on whore. I love that. I love that promo in there. Thanks to Nick for putting that together. He is awesome. I love listening to the epic film guys.
Yeah, I've got them on my list as well.
I recommend it. They love Granny's Peach Tea, the movie as well. So that's always a win for us. So Chris, I'm going off script. Yeah, I'm going on script. Sorry.
Yeah, for the first time, this is the first because 365 is about to go on script.
It
Kev's
is.
got half of his phone memory taken up by the notes here for this.
I have some
little segment.
extensive notes. We're going to
So,
talk. We're going to talk about.
Do your thing.
So Chris.
Yes, Kevin.
No, that you don't say that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, that this is my script. This is all just me monologuing.
All right.
So Chris, thank you. You finally watched the show. I have begging you. I have been begging you to watch for ages. Let's discuss This Is England.
I can't speak now.
Yeah, you can speak
okay,
now.
happy days.
Yeah,
Oh, sure,
so-
I'm not be given the script. You see, you can't expect somebody like me to perform, and I've got the words in front of me.
So finally, you got round to watching This Is England.
I did.
This is quite possibly the movie is not one of my favourite British movies ever. I'd put it probably in my top 5. So I suppose it is one of my favourites, but the TV show is definitely one of my favourite TV shows ever because it's just so fucking good. Puts you through every emotion possible. So little quick. How did you feel about it? What was the crack with it? And then I'll go through my monologue.
Well, yeah, I saw the movie way back in the day, kind of thing. I'm not sure what year it came out.
2006 in my notes.
Okay, all right, fair enough. 2006. So I saw it, 10 years old. I saw it back in the day, but I never got around to watching the TV show. I didn't ever say I wasn't going to watch the TV show. I just never got around to watching it.
Yeah, which kind of annoyed me. It's kind of one of those things that you need to be on the ground floor. I mean, obviously you've watched it now, and
So then you don't need to go on the ground floor, do you?
No, I think you do though. Because when it came out, I watched it as it was on, and everybody was talking about it. It was I wouldn't say it was water cooler television, because if you talk about that show at the water cooler, people are walking away from it.
Yeah, you're getting dragged to human resources if you talk about that shit.
Definitely, for all sorts, you know. But yeah, the movie came out in 2006. It was directed by British director Shane Meadows, who, I mean, have you had any kind of dealings with Shane Meadows? Apart from This Is England, the movie and the TV show.
What kind of stuff has he done?
Would you like me to rattle off a little?
On you go then.
I don't have it in my notes. I'm going to have to go off script here. Some of the movies he made were This Is England, of course. A Paddy Considine movie called Dead Man's Shoes. I think I was telling you about that the other night.
No, I've not seen that.
He likes to work with Paddy Considine quite a bit. Like,
who wouldn't?
They're good pals. Another Paddy Considine movie was Le Donkin Scorsese, which was like, it was sort of his... Did you ever see Spinal Tap?
No.
It was a bit like Spinal Tap. It was like a mockumentary, not a tragicomedy, a mockumentary where Paddy Considine played a rapper. No, he was the groupie for the rapper. And he was kind of like following him around. It was a good little... It was funny as fuck. It was really good. He also made a movie called The Room for Romeo Brass back in the day.
No.
Not remember that one? Damn, you haven't seen none of his shit. He's done a lot. They're all brilliant. I love everything he does. This Is England, definitely my favourite movie he's done. But favourite movie he's ever done. And just to give you a little background on what the movie is, it came out in 2006. It's an look. I went full bore here, right? An unflinching look into what it was like to be in England in 1983.
Okay.
I say unflinching because he doesn't flinch.
I think a few people flinch at some points in the movie.
I flinched quite a few times. So the story centres around Sean, who's played by an unknown actor, Thomas Turgus, at the time. That was his first ever movie, and he was cracking in it. Sean's struggling in his school life and his home life because his dad had died in the Falklands War. and he gets basically, I'm just going to go off script here. He gets taken under the wings of a local group of skinheads, but they're not the skinheads like you and I know the skinheads. It's like grassroots skinheads, so they listen to like the ska music, the reggae music. They're not into the racism type. That's not their deal.
Yeah, they're not Nazis, although Combo does have a swastika on the back of his head.
Well, basically, they take Sean under his wing and he starts finding friendship with them. He starts falling in love with an older girl called Smell. Woody takes him in, becomes sort of like a brother, like an older brother. They all love him, they all look after him, and then on the scene comes Combo, played by Stephen Graham, who the Americans will know him from just about pretty much
he's been in a
everything.
shitload. Actually, he should have... That should have made my list for the top 5, but he didn't.
He probably should have been, and I think the biggest things that people might remember him from was that he played Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire.
Yes, he did.
And he was also in Band of Brothers. He was in loads of that. He's just an awesome
He was also
actor.
in Gangs of New York.
Gangs of New York, yeah. Oh Christ, you could. That is an endless list. He should have been. He should have been in my top 5.
Ties in well with our top 5.
It does.
We meant it.
So he comes back on the scene, and he brings the sort of white nationalist front movement. He is very staunch, kind of against the coloureds, the black people, and they have.
It's okay. It's not you saying it. It's a movie.
I know. But you still get a little bit apprehensive saying it, especially when you've not had a drink. And so basically, he doesn't. There's one of the guys in the group is a black kid called Milky. Great name for a black kid. I love it. And he obviously doesn't take too kindly to him because it's Woody's best friend, and Combo used to be Woody's best friend. And it all goes tits up from there. He basically starts taking them to the rallies, and none of them like it, apart from a couple of the kids. Did you know, when was the last time you watched this movie?
4 or 5 years ago, something like that.
During my revision, I had no idea, and I was so not blown away, but I was quite surprised to see this. One of the cast members in the gang, like you kind of know Joe Gilgun plays Woody from the new TV show Preacher. This is far better. Like, this is England's the best thing he's ever done, TV show wise. And one of the other kids, who's called Pukey, is played by none other than Jack O'Connell.
Wow.
Yes, who is making it big time right now in the George Clooney movie Money Monster, and pretty much everything else. He was in Startup with Ben Mendelsohn. Great little actor. He played Pukey in This Is England, the movie.
Wow.
But
he was very good. And just to go a bit tangenty here, did you ever see the Angelina Jolie directed movie that he was in, Unbroken?
The running one.
No.
In the Olympics.
He was in the Olympics in like the 30s.
Right, yeah.
He was in the Olympics that was held in Nazi Germany.
Aye. Unbroken, aye.
And then he was in the war and what have you.
I've not seen
That's
it.
fucking good.
I haven't seen it, but I do want to see it because he's in it. But the thing that puts me off is that Angelina Jolie directed it.
Don't let that put you off. He's really, really good in it.
I will watch it.
So anyway, sorry.
I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, back to This Is England.
So yeah, Combo comes on the scene and basically fucking tears everything apart. He turns Sean against the local shopkeeper, who is for lack of a better word, Packy. They go full akka on him, and it all just goes to shit. And yeah, so he basically breaks up the group, and then what was it? The movie, the TV show This Is England '86 comes out.
Yeah, but he also beats the fuck out of Milky. He almost kills the guy.
He beats the ever-living shit out of Milky.
Before we get into the TV show, this is a very, very honest TV show.
Yeah.
So there are going to be... It's going to be a bit of a bleak plot that Kev's going to be reading out at times.
It's not for the faint of heart.
No, it's a very honest TV show. It's a very, very good TV show.
It's ballsy.
a fucking well acted TV show. So if you're going to get upset by, the plot points involving rape and drug use and racism, then maybe just skip to the top 5.
Maybe just skip to the top 5.
Yeah. Also, there are going to be spoilers for the TV show.
Yeah.
So
we'll maybe not try to spoil it too much, but we'll touch on the big points.
Yeah. So you have been warned. On you, Kev.
So first of all, as you just said, it's fantastically acted. So in the movie, you had Woody was played by Joe Gilgun. You had Woody's girlfriend Lol, who was played by Vicky McClure, who is a phenomenal actress.
Yeah, she is. Yeah,
only getting better. If you want to see what she's in recently, she's in I cannot remember the name of that police. It's like a cop drama. She's in that with Martin Compston, young Scottish actor. Oh, what the fuck's it called? If I remember what it's called, I'll shout it out later. So yeah, she's in that. Andrew Shim plays Milky. He's like a Shane Meadows alum. Literally, I think that's just about all he's ever done is Shane Meadows stuff. Mm-hmm. So if you want to find him, check out Shane Meadows movies. You had Gadget, who's played by Andrew Ellis, who again is another sort of Shane Meadows alum. Obviously, in the movie, you had Jack O'Connell, who for the TV show was replaced, but we'll talk about that in a second. And you have Kelly, played by Chanel Cresswell, who again, probably second series onwards, is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Again, third series more than any.
The third series, yeah.
But I had a little bit of IMDb trivia about Thomas Turgoose. As I said, it was his first ever movie, so he'd never acted before, and he got the gig in This Is England because he was banned from school for bad behaviour, and he went to the audition and he got the role, but the movie was dedicated to his mum, who died while they were filming it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's dedicated to her, and she never actually got to see it, but she got to see like a short preview of what the movie was going to be. And the only reason I brought that up, and the thing that really got me when I read that, because I didn't know that to start off with, he's in a movie in which his dad had supposedly died, and he's struggling to deal with that. And while he's filming the fucking movie, his mum died. Oh. You know, that's probably why his acting in that movie is so raw. Because I think for a young kid at the age he was, I think he was only 13 at the time, he's on point. Like,
yeah.
When he throws down with Combo halfway through the movie, it's just unbelievable. And Combo's like, look at this, little... Oh, man. Great film. So anyway, the TV show.
Yeah, the TV show.
As I said, Jack O'Connell wasn't in the TV show, because in the movie I think they get rid of him. He sort of... they don't like the fact that he's taken on Combo's ideals, and they just get rid of him away from the group. He was then replaced by Michael Sosha. Couldn't have been an any better replacement because, again, he's
another cracking British actor.
Who was in the movie as a cameo at the very start. He's the bully picking on Sean.
Right.
So interesting choice, considering he's bullying him at the start of the movie, and then he becomes part of the gang in the TV show.
Oh, these things happen.
Playing the same character.
Yeah.
So This Is England 86 came out in 2010. It's set around the 1986 World Cup. They've all kind of dropped their skinhead routine sort of thing. They're all kind of mods now with the whole quadrophenia time of the decade sort of thing. If you don't know what quadrophenia is, look it up, because I've never seen it and I don't want to. It's just not my type of film. So yeah, Jack O'Connell left. We got Michael Sosha came into it, and it basically picks up, I think is it 3 years after the movie? 6 years after the movie?
Was it 86? So it'll be
Yeah.
3 years after.
Yeah, so like 3 years after. Sean is pretty estranged from the group at the very start. He kind of comes back in because they're having a wedding, aren't they? Woody and Lol are getting married, but it doesn't quite happen.
Yeah, they're planning the wedding, aren't they?
Yeah.
But Lol isn't into it, kind of thing.
She's not really. And does Maggie not have like a heart attack on the toilet?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Isn't that like at the right before the wedding or something?
Aye.
Yeah.
Maggie's another character who I can't remember who played him, but he just kind of ties it all together.
He's a British actor that's been in a lot of shows.
He disappeared in series 2, and apparently, I remember reading about it at the time. There was a tweet sent out that said that Maggie had died off screen, so you weren't going to see him again. And obviously they reversed that because he's in series 3. So yeah, it's just like Sean's kind of trying to deal with the man who he berated in the film, the Pakistani guy who owns the shop, is now sort of in a fledgling relationship with his mum. So he's dealing with that. He's not really enjoying it.
Not really dealing with it very well.
He leaves, doesn't he? At one point
Yeah.
he leaves home and that, and then Mr. Sandu leaves home to try and get him to come back in. Lol and Woody are kind of on the fritz. Lol kind of falls in with Milky a little bit. I didn't like that whole thing. Like, I just like Lol and Woody being together. But I suppose it makes for a bit of confrontation, which is what Shane Meadows does better than anyone.
Yeah, that was one of my favourite parts of series 2.
Yeah, did you like all that?
Yeah.
It was good.
I did. No, the thing is, like, because Lol's obviously going, we'll speak about her dad in a second.
Well, yeah.
Lol's going through all that kind of shit, and she's not told Woody about it.
Yeah.
But she's told Milky some of it, so that brings those two close, and then they get very close.
Well, let's just jump into that. Lol and Kelly are sisters, and Lol's dad comes back on the scene, and he's just He's a vile, abusive, horrible fucking bastard of a man.
Yeah, that sounds happy. So Lol was abused as a child.
Yeah.
Her mother didn't acknowledge it, or she kind of blocked it out.
I think she kind of knew it was
thing.
there, but
yeah,
like you say, blocked out.
And Lol kind of protected Kelly from it happening.
Yeah.
So Lol kind of took it all, so to speak, just to
Yeah.
protect Kelly from have it happening to her. So Lol's going through all of that kind of thing. Then that's when the series really kicks in. Is her mother takes the dad back in. So that kind of sends Lol into kind of a downward spiral from there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when she ends up, going with Milky.
Which, yeah, I can kind of see that because also there's the whole she's dealing with like her and Woody kind of getting really serious and that, and she's damaged is basically the way the thing goes. So the dad comes back on the scene, and let's just not beat around the bush. The dad rapes one of the girls in the group, Trev, in absolutely typical Shane Meadows fashion. If you are going to watch this series, it is not an easy watch because he does not turn the camera away.
No, he doesn't.
He makes you sit and watch the whole thing. It's not graphic, it's not violent. It's graphic, but it's not like violent. But he's just a horrible fucking bastard about it. And then when it's all said and done, he's totally just fine about it and tells her to get out, sort of thing. And it's hard watching, but that's kind of what kicks off the finale of that series, when Lol decides she's going to sort of avenge her friend, almost gets raped herself, and murders her dad. You also have at the same time Combo, who's been off the scene for a long time. He kind of comes back into the show. Does he not come back to see his mum because his mum's dying?
He misses her, doesn't
he? Misses her dying, but Sean takes him, doesn't he? Sean, because he ends up at Sean's house.
Yeah.
And Sean takes him to see his mum before she dies. She dies. You have just Stephen Graham in the shit out of this show. Fantastic little scene on her deathbed sort of thing, and you begin to love Combo, and then he takes the ultimate bullet for Lol for everything, and he takes the rap for the murder.
Yep.
I mean the rape scene's graphic enough. The scene where Lol kills her dad is just fucking great. You kind of get a sense of like the True Romance scene when Patricia Arquette's kicking fuck out of James Gandolfini. You get a sense of that, and then Combo comes in and wipes his face with blood and takes.
He's like slapping the guy's face,
Unbelievable.
Hand on his face and what have you. Yeah.
I'm just gonna ask you, like, performance of that series. There's a lot of good performances in that series, but everybody sort of takes a backseat for Lol and Combo a little bit, and Sean, sorry. Performance of that series for you. Who does it go to?
Performance of the series, the actor's performance of the series, I would actually have to say Lol's dad.
He is.
Because similar to when we interviewed Ian Beattie, when we spoke about the scene with Arya and the too old scene, where he said he was in the toilets crying in between takes.
And he does make you believe.
Performance-wise, it has to be Lol's dad, because you are believing that this man is a vile piece of human trash.
Yeah, because when he comes into it, he gets back with the mom, and you think that it's going to be all good, but being that it's a Shane Meadows thing, This Is England, it's going to go wrong somewhere.
There was a scene, I can't remember which episode it was, but there was a scene where we've already found out what he's done to Lol. Kelly is in bed sleeping, and he goes into the bedroom and he sits down on Kelly's bed, and I was on the edge of the sofa with my hands over my mouth thinking, what the fuck is this guy going to do? I don't think he did anything.
No, he didn't in that scene. No, it just kind of, it's very uncomfortable. Though.
Yeah.
And it's the way he lights things. It's the moody setting when he's directing. Shane Meadows fucking takes it out of you. Like it's like a test of mass endurance watching this show. I mean, I told you not to watch it all in a one.
You did, and I didn't. I think we'll come to the episode in series 2. It's episode 2 in series 2. Where was it series 3? Where everybody finds out. Was it series 3?
That's 3.
3, sorry, right, okay. When I watched that one, I text you saying I need a break from this.
Yeah, I mean, we're laughing, but fuck me.
So how about you? What was your performance of the series then?
For me, the performance of that series is Stephen Graham, without a doubt. Woody doesn't really get his chance to shine in that series.
No.
he sort of takes a back seat for Lol and Milky getting together. And Stephen Graham, I know he's only in like the last 10 seconds of the second last episode, and then he's in all of the last episode. But his performance, probably, like you say, when he's slapping himself in the face with the dead dad's hand, and he's wiping the blood, and he's telling Lol everything's going to be all right. That for me is just it falls on the sword for everyone, and you don't get a conclusion of that till series 3. You don't, because nobody knows apart from Lol.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, she tells Woody in series 2 at the end, but nobody knows.
I've seen as well.
Yeah. So anyway, this is England '88, filmed in 2011. This series is what I would call the epitome of everything that is British drama. Has no light moments. There's not much to smile or laugh about in this series. Everybody is absolutely reeling from the events of series 1.
There were laugh out loud moments, mostly involving Woody.
There always is, but just not many for me. And the thing with Woody is that he's no longer part of the group in series 2. He's kind of trying to live a 9-to-5 life.
He's trying to be a normal, basically.
That's when you kind of meet his mum and dad properly, and they are just nuts. I love his mum and dad.
So I love his mum and dad as well, but he's engaged. Is he engaged?
He's engaged, yes. He gets engaged.
A bit of a wet fish of a girl. She's perfectly nice, I'm sure. But
she's perfectly nice. She's normal, but she's a bit of a psychopath.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. So we start off. Lola's struggling because she's got a kid now.
Milky's kid.
Yeah, Milky's kid. The kid is teething. Lola's struggling with no sleep, bringing the baby up on her own, and she's got postnatal depression, I believe.
Yep, and the guilt of letting
and the guilt. Yeah, of course, because what happened? She starts seeing her dad.
Yeah, she's
standing behind her in fucking mirrors.
Crazy, man.
Which I said to you a few times, it actually fucking creeped me the hell out.
It does.
There was one, I think it was in her mum's living room, where she actually killed the guy in the living room, and she sat in the chair, and then the camera just kind of panned round, and the guy is sitting there. Not he's dead, obviously. It's in Lol's mind, but the guy is sitting there, and he's just going.
This is absolutely 100%. This is what Meadows does. I keep saying it, but it's what he does, and I can't think of many directors who do it better. Like I told you the other night, in that scene when, like you say, everybody sat around the table in series 3, and it all kind of comes out, and I was literally sat on the edge of the bed, and I couldn't breathe until it cut away to an advert for Skittles or something like that. I don't know what the advert was. But I literally, my heart was pounding. It was in my mouth. I couldn't breathe. I was just sat there like, what's going to happen next? What? And he gets me like that every time.
Yeah.
And when you see him work with Paddy Considine, his work is never better than when he was working with Paddy Considine.
I'll give those movies a watch because I love Paddy Considine.
I would 100% recommend Dead Man's Shoes because you will love that movie. And Considine in that movie, I mean, if it was a big budget not a big budget, but if it was made in America or in Hollywood, that's getting awards all over the place. But because it was like a very low budget sort of Irish movie, it doesn't really do anything. But yeah, so I mean, like you say, Lol's dealing with all that. She's got the baby. Milky and Woody are no longer talking. Woody's trying to live a straight-laced.
Well, basically, they didn't. What comes out is they didn't tell Woody what happened. Lol got pregnant. And Woody didn't find out until the baby came out of Lol. The baby was half black.
Yeah. So it's Milky's daughter.
So yeah, it was all very Jeremy Kyle stuff, but Jeremy Kyle wasn't invented yet. So
Sean is he's now living under his mum and stepdad's roof because are they married at this point?
They're married.
I think they are. She's married Mr. Sandu. And now he's quite happy. He's happy enough.
He's going out with Smell.
He's going out with Smell.
I love Smell.
I do love Smell. She's great. I love him. I love her. In the moment I fell in love with Smell was during the movie when he's like a 13-year-old kid and she's obviously like 18, 19 because they're all a lot older, and they're in the shed, and he's telling her how much he likes her, and she just turns around and she's like, "Would you like to feel my tits?" I was just like, you are just not all there.
Oh, she's definitely not all there.
No, not at all. But she gets some really good scenes in that second series because you have like Sean sort of cheating on her with the girl from the drama class, and that all just goes downhill.
Yeah.
And she's great in that
She
series.
is great because he's kissing the the lass behind the stage, and Mel's gone behind stage to wish him luck, and she sees it.
Yeah.
But she just kind of stands there, and she's fucking amazing in it.
With a glacier.
But she sits back down next to his mum, and his mum goes, "How was he?" And she goes, "Fucking horrible."
Yeah, I love her. She's great in that. Kelly kind of is getting a bit more of a role in the second series because she didn't have much in the first. Obviously, just like her dad being on the scene, and she's quite happy, but obviously she's dealing with the death of her dad now, so it's all kind of... And I think it's the second series that we meet Kelly and Lol's mum's lesbian girlfriend.
Yes.
Which I thought was a nice little addition to the show, if I'm honest with you. I don't know why I thought that, I just did.
Fair enough.
But that series is one episode shorter than the other two series because there's only 3 episodes in series 2.
Yeah.
And that culminates in a sort of... Where are they? They're like outside a load of shops.
Yeah, Woody and the normal girlfriend are walking home or something like that, and they all come out of a club. And they bump into each other, and that was my favourite scene.
It's a great scene.
I think I said to you on Saturday night, like, Woody, when he was standing with his hands in his pockets and he was like fidgeting in hell as hell, like he'd been wanting to say this shit for ages but couldn't get it out, and
finally found the words.
And then he starts, the rage starts building up slowly, and then he ends up going for him, and all that's fucking perfect.
So, like, for those who Joe Gilgun plays Woody, Joseph Gilgun. You can see him right now in Preacher. He's playing Cassidy. I've only seen the first episode of Preacher.
Yeah, same here.
But he's phenomenal in it. He's really good in that show. He was in a Luc Besson directed Guy Pearce movie a couple of years back called Lockout or Lockdown, set in space.
I may have seen that.
Not the best movie ever, but his role in it is fantastic.
Yeah.
Just look for this guy, because this guy is probably one of the best British actors we have right now.
I would agree with you.
He can bring his A game, and he's series 2 of This Is England earned them both nominations for like best actor in a TV show. Vicky McClure and him. I mean, obviously, when you get to that last scene in the series when the two of them are sat together, you totally understand why. I implore anybody, go and find anything with Joseph Gilgun in it and watch it, because you're going to love this guy. Keep an eye on him.
He is also funny as hell, it has to be said.
He is. He's hilarious.
I mean, as you said, Kev, Series 2 doesn't have a lot of laughs. You've got Lol falling apart slowly until she tries to take her own life.
Yeah.
You've got scenes where Woody is trying to live the normal life, but he doesn't want to. And the scenes with his boss, who is an asshole. Great. The scene where his boss comes in and says, "Oh, you've been promoted, lad," and he goes, "Oh, you fuck," and he sort of says, "Oh, you fucking cunt," and he goes, "Oh, it's just banter," and then they sit down for the nice sort of normal family, the normal like couple's Christmas meal, and then the boss says something, and Woody's trying so hard to be normal, and then he lets slip, "Oh, you daft cunt," to his boss, and it's so fucking funny.
What you have to remember as well, this is a very British TV show. It's set in Sheffield. It's very sort of like down to earth estate talk as well. Like just as you say, the way Joe Gilgun talks in that show, the way Woody talks, the way they all talk is just so great. It's like normal conversation you have with your buds.
Yeah.
And he just brings it to another level in Series 2. Series 3, he's a million times better again, but he brings it to another level. Series 2 basically ends with sort of Lol tries to commit suicide, and she has a horrific scene of a stomach pump.
Oh, yeah.
Again, maybe not as hard to watch as the rape in Series 1, but it's still bloody hard to watch.
But it was cut in with, like, while she was having the stomach pump being done, it was also cut in with scenes of her dad raping her and raping Trev and all that kind of shit, and that was tough as well.
Yeah, it is
to watch, you know.
And I mean, like I say, she was nominated for an award, and so was Woody. And in this, like, because they have a scene at the very last episode where they kind of just sit and tell each other that they still love each other, and she tells Woody that Combo took the blame for. So Woody kind of has this little bit where, I can't remember the exact line, but he basically, he might as well say that Combo's a good bloke.
Yeah. Where
he kind of like, he realises that he's maybe been a bit hard on Combo as well, and that bleeds into Series 3. So This Is England 90.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's another decade. It's another 2 years later. So they've dropped the mod routine, and this time they're all raver, cheesy quavers.
Apart from the goths.
Yes, they've not all dropped their ways, but it's kind of everybody seems to have their own style in series 3.
Yeah, it's a lot of sort of shell suits and lol. No, not lol. Sorry. Smell is hanging about with goths.
Yeah,
she's kind of distanced herself.
yeah, she's not in series 3.
She's not really in it until the end.
No. Yeah, I'll let you talk about series 3 because you've watched it recently.
Yeah, was it last week? I think it was last week. So it opens up as Kev said in the 90s. So as the series opens up, you've got Lol and Woody who are now re-engaged.
Yeah.
Or no, they're not re-engaged yet.
No,
they're not.
They do that through the series.
Yeah, sorry. But they're together. They're happy. They're bringing up Lol and Milky's kid together, and they've also got a kid of their own.
But Milky's still sort of on the scene, isn't he?
Yeah,
very much on the scene. Cause
yes.
You kind of get the feeling that Lol's being pushed out for them too.
Yeah, there are scenes where those two are kind of snuggled up together on the couch, and Lol's just kind of doing away.
This series is a bit more lighthearted.
Yeah,
like
it is.
There's a lot of laughs in this series, which thank God.
I know. So Sean is trying to get into college.
Yeah, he's actively trying, even though he keeps, I'm not going to get in, sort of thing, because typical Sean's doing that. Kelly's very much loving life.
Yeah, she's kind of with Gadget and, what's the other guy's name?
Yeah, we haven't spoken about Gadget and Harvey at all yet.
Yeah, Harvey, sorry.
And
yeah, they're kind of, they're kind of a sort of threesome kind of thing.
Gadget and Harvey, though, are through like series 1, 2, and 3. They are just the most amazing pair. Basically, the Chuckle Brothers of This Is England. Yeah. They bring so much to that show, and to be fair, I think it's 3/4 Michael Socialike, but that's Andrew Ellis still does some great work.
So those three are, as Kev said, they're loving life. They're kind of experimenting with different
hallucinogenics.
Yes. So what happens in episode 1? I can't really remember.
I don't really remember much of episode 1, but they're very much just kind of bringing the group sort of back together. Sort of, Lol is in touch with Combo, who's sort of on the verge of getting out of jail.
Yeah, he's about to be released
for the murder. Milky and Woody are sort of making plans to open up their own. Is it a moped shop they want to open? Or they're planning on going into business together.
I think they're planning to go into business together. I can't remember what it is.
I'm sure it's a moped shop, but it might not be. And I think the second episode is when they go and try and find the rave, isn't it? And they get lost.
Yes.
But it's mostly just them loving life. Things are going really well. And it's a Shane Meadows show, so that's not going to last very long. No, it's not going to last. And then you go into the second episode and they go looking for a rave because they've been told that there's a rave in the woods or in the fields because that used to happen in the 90s. Which it fucking did. Like, obviously I was still a nipper in the 90s and that, but the mid to late 90s and that, things like that were happening. So that's grounded in sort of reality. But they go and try and find a rave. And
they catch up with the two sort of Top Gun guys who are awesome.
Flip.
Is that what they're called?
I can't remember his body's name, but they are in every series. No, they're in second and third. They don't like Sean very much. Ginger pubes and all that kind of thing. They hate Sean. They constantly berate Sean. And the gang hate them, but love to take the piss out of them.
But Michael Socha has some cracking lines with those lines. Two. So they catch up with them. They end up going to the rave. It's kind of a bunch of hippies, and
it's not so much a rave as a hippie commune.
Yeah. Sean had a nice little touching scene with like a sort of like an old woman who he starts speaking about his dad who died in the Falklands and all that. That was a nice little scene,
which is something they never really addressed since the movie.
No,
like and obviously that's always been playing on Sean, because you get that scene.
Mm-hmm.
And he brings up a little bit about smell as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, because I think by that point, I think it was episode 1, he went to see her.
He's practically stalking
to see if
her.
he could make up with her, but she kind of told him to get to fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they have it's like a big sort of fire party thing with a load of drugs and all that. Kelly, who in episode 1, or is it maybe the start of episode 2, bygones, has just sort of woken up with a random guy.
Yep.
I thought she was a lesbian.
She kind of comes across as a bit of a lesbian.
I thought
but
she was a
she's
lesbian with Trev.
No.
No? Did I make that up?
I think Trev is a lesbian.
Right.
But, well, obviously you
I
would
thought
be.
Kelly was, like, with Trev.
No, that's never really
Oh,
discussed.
well, bygones, okay, I just made that up. So yeah, basically Kelly gets smacked off her tits
Yep.
and ends up being, well, kind of date raped.
Kind of, but she doesn't really protest. So
No, well,
it is date raped. It's gang raped, basically.
yeah,
There's no two ways about it. She's off her face, cannot really control anything.
yeah.
So it does happen.
And again, it's similar to like the stomach pump scene.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it's a
Flashing
very,
imagery.
very well shot scene when all this is going on, where you see flashes of what's going on. What really fucking disturbed me was when she was smoking I guess it was heroin,
Yeah.
and like there was like three of them. There was two young guys and an old guy, and the old guy gets into bed with her and starts stripping her off. That really bothered me.
Again, not an easy show.
I
to watch.
know. Yeah, but yeah. So Kelly has that going on, and then like the next morning, she's coming out of the caravan where it all happened, and Gadget tries to speak to her, and like she's sort of trying to tell him,
Yeah.
and then she, can't tell him and all that kind of thing.
Because obviously, like a post note to that is that Gadget's been in love with Kelly since
Yeah.
like forever.
Yeah. So that's going on, and then is that not episode 1?
No, that's episode 2. That all happens.
Right.
Because there's four episodes
All right,
in the third series.
All right, bygones. Okay. So yeah, episode 3. Then they're all getting ready to go for a big dinner at Lol
Yeah.
and Woody's. That's basically the setup for the episode where.
Well, basically, Combo's getting out. And he needs somewhere to stay.
Mm-hmm.
He's asked Lol and Woody and Lol, due to they feel obliged to help him out after he basically gave up 6 years of his life for Lol. They agreed to have him come and stay with them, but before he can come and stay with them, they need to tell everyone else, which is an unbelievable scene around the table with about 9 of your principal characters of the show. It goes from on our TV on Channel 4, you have advert breaks. Like, obviously you have them in America as well. I don't know why I'm saying that. This goes from one advert to the next advert. It's all one scene, and it's some of the best acting you can possibly ever see.
I think that's probably one of the finest pieces of acting I've ever seen.
Everybody sort of gets their moment. I think it's basically Lol tells everyone, especially Kelly.
Well, they all think that they're
There's a baby
there
on the go.
because they've got engaged.
Yeah, yes, sorry. Yeah.
So the meal kind of starts with Milky and Lol's mum.
Yeah.
They're kind of sat next to each other, going like elbowing each other, going, "Oh, yeah, they're going to tell us." And
Jovial hilarity.
yeah, and then one of them says to Willie, "So what is it then?" And he goes, "It's not good." And then he
They basically spill everything.
yeah.
They tell Kelly that Trev was raped by the dad, and she doesn't believe it. So she goes off on one. Trev kind of confirms that because she's at the table, so that's not easy for her. And then they tell the whole group that Combo took the blame because Lol killed the dad, which doesn't go down well either. Then they say that Combo took the blame for Lol, and that's why he's in prison, which, doesn't go down well either. And that's when they drop the bombshell that Combo, the man who kicked the ever-loving shit out of Milky in the movie and has been a bane of everyone's existence since forever, is coming out of jail. But not only that, he's going to be staying with Lol and Woody, who have Milky's child under his roof.
Yep.
Under their roof. So it all kicks off in that one scene.
Everybody kicks off in that scene.
That's a hell of a lot to be putting on people. Everybody gets their moment. Everybody. I think the only person who doesn't really have much to say in that scene is Sean. Because to be fair,
Yeah, he's kind of sat there
wondering what the hell he's doing
shell-shocked,
there.
basically, yeah.
But I mean, Sean has connection with Combo as well from the movie, so I mean, that's why he's there. But it all just... Because while the movie is very much about Sean and his relationship with the gang, the TV show is about the gang. It's about everyone. So kind of it all comes round like that, and that is just an awesome scene. I love that scene, and Milky's great in that scene. There's the first time in all 3 series that I turned around and I says, shit, I need to see more with this Andrew Shim. I need to watch more with the character, the guy that played Milky. I was like, he nails that scene. And then every subsequent scene he's in for the rest of the series, he nails. Because obviously things were set in motion when Milky took the beating. And when Combo comes out, he's going to have to deal with that. And that's pretty much where the series goes for those 2 characters. Kelly falls out with Lol, doesn't want to speak to Lol anymore, doesn't want to speak to Woody.
Well, basically, Kelly goes...
self-destructive, basically.
Yeah.
She sacks off Gadget. She's living with Harvey and Gadget. Harvey kicks her out because he finds her injecting herself, and they don't do needles in his flat. So quite a conscious drug taker is our Harvey.
I was quite shocked about that. I kind of thought, well, is he recovering? Is that why?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I kind of
that's
took
one of my
from it.
favourite scenes.
But the bit with him and Gadget.
I love that scene.
After Gadget comes back, yeah.
And Gadget fully goes off on one with him, and he's like, I'm trying to help you out, mate. I'm your mate. It's just... But at the same time, he's not apologising. Like, there's nowhere in Harvey's mind has he done anything wrong by kicking her out.
Well, yeah, I mean, he wasn't having it in his flat.
And I love Harvey.
I wouldn't have it in my flat.
Michael Sosha's awesome. Michael Sosha's awesome in this series.
He is.
And then it all comes to, like, a wedding sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's not really... kind of have Combo gets out, tries to go straight sort of thing. It's working to a degree. He's kind of finding his place in the world, but obviously him and Milky are going to have a sit down chat. Milky confronts him. You think it's all going well until a couple of Milky's cousins turn up and they decide they're going to take Combo away and deal with him.
I don't think there was any deciding. It was happening.
No, it was happening. Like I say, the wheels were already set in motion. Milky says it during the conversation. You know, when I was lying in the hospital bed, decisions were made that were out of my control, and there's nothing he can do. Because during that conversation, when Stephen Graham is Stephen Graham it up big time, Milky does a complete U-turn on him. You can see it in his face. He completely, like, oh my god, this guy's changed so much. What am I going to do? Oh shit, there's my cousins. There's nothing I can do.
Mm-hmm. As they were speaking, it was out of focus in the background where the van pulled up and the 3 muckle big guys got out of the van.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, they're here for Combo.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came in. So that was another cracking scene. But Kelly's been living in a crack house, basically.
Yep.
Woody and Lol are now engaged. They're planning the wedding. Let's talk a little bit about the scene with Woody's mum and dad and Lol's mum, where they're planning the wedding. So basically, they're having a sort of the psycho.
Because the girlfriend's helping as well,
yeah,
isn't she?
She's decided that she's going to be maid of honour.
Yeah, and she's going to plan most of the weddings, isn't she?
And she's got a big book of what the flower girls are going to wear, what the meal's going to be, what the wedding dress is going to be.
Because it's her perfect
She's
wedding.
going to be, it's her perfect wedding, yeah.
I just want to say this show is very fucking British. So when you watch it, just bear with it.
But we one of the points that when we were speaking about it at length on Saturday night with a few beers was we were speaking about a lot of shows right now when they're doing the dialogue and what have you. There's a lot of interrupting people, and sort of, but not doing it very well.
Yeah,
where you wouldn't do that. A normal person wouldn't speak like that.
No.
You'd be told to shut the fuck up and let me finish what I'm saying. That's how a normal person speaks. But on this show, all 3 series, the dialogue is so natural.
Oh, yeah.
And so well performed and so natural that is actually how people would speak. And there is a lot of shouting over each other in this scene.
You would often think that the show is like semi-improvised, and
yeah, you would absolutely.
I don't think it is. I think there is they probably get a lot of leeway because all of these actors are so on point that you could imagine Shane Meadows just lets them go. Mm-hmm. You can imagine that, but like you say, it's purely natural. Everything in this show is just natural, apart from the horrible things that happen.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that's natural to some people.
Yeah, I'm sure it happens. Obviously, it happens.
But yeah, that ends up with Lol's mum slapping Woody's mum, which is great.
But you know what? His mum takes it on the chin. She's so cool about it. Like, yeah, she's a little bit huffed in that, but Woody's mum and dad are just that psychopathic.
Yeah.
They're just so great.
Well, it kind of cuts back to it later on in the episode, where Woody's mum has gone to bed for a lie down.
Yeah.
The ex-girlfriend is there comforting her, which is weird. And then the mum, like Lol's mum, is kind of marched in as if he would a kid, and she kind of goes, "Sorry," and as you would with a kid, Woody's mum goes, "Pardon?"
Yeah,
Sorry, I couldn't hear you from all the way over here.
that is great.
Yeah, the final bit of psychoness from the ex-girlfriend where she's made the chief flower girl.
Oh God,
Which is just depressing.
But I love the way when she gets all involved in all of these sort of conversations and that, there's a sense of like Woody keeps thinking to himself, what the hell is she doing here? And it's always mentioned and they always ask why the hell she's even there. But the mum and dad, they just love this girl so much that, you know, she's living with them.
So yeah, so that's happened to Combo. And then we pretty much Kelly's nowhere to be seen. She's in the crack den, and then we get to the wedding.
We do get to the wedding, and it's quite a fitting "This Is England" wedding, where I think everybody's there at this point. Sort of
everybody's there, yeah. Everybody's back for it.
The only person that isn't is Kelly, but you know that comes. Like, we have a lot of wonderful scenes with all these actors interacting. The scene of the series when Kelly and Lol.
We've also got, before we get to that one, there's also the scene with Milky and Lol.
Yeah.
Who Milky at this point is struggling like hell to cope with the guilt of what happened to Combo, who's been taken away and beaten to death, basically.
He turned a corner. Oh yeah, Combo's done.
Milky is struggling with this, and he's on his own in the pool room. He's just kind of sat staring into space, and Lol comes in, and she knows something's wrong with him. She knows that he's done something, and so she's trying to get out of him. She's trying to say, like, does she not say, like, was it if you know that, like, where he was or anything like that, or is it like, look me in the eyes and tell me you don't know what happened to him? And then Gadget and Harvey come in and interrupt the whole thing. So
he does kind of sort of allude, but he doesn't tell her, and I don't think it needs to be said. I think Lol knows.
Yeah.
And Lol, you know, I think Lol, after everything that's gone on over the 3 series in the movie, Lol understands that it was probably necessary. It was something that, for Milky, it had to happen. And at the end of the day, she's all about Milky and Woody, and she's all about the group.
Aye, yeah, fair enough. I mean, I just I like that scene.
I do love that scene. I do. To be completely honest, I forgot about it, but I do love it because as soon as you say, like, he's got the 1,000-yard stare just sat there, yeah, it's a great scene. It is.
And then like the very end of the episode, everybody's, you know, having a good time, and it's a nice little sort of montage of them all having a laugh at the wedding and all that, and Milky's just sat at the bar again, sort of watching them all and struggling.
Yeah,
and that's kind of how they end it. But before we get to that, we get to Kelly coming to the wedding.
Kelly comes to the wedding and kind of just makes up with Lol in a roundabout way. And, you know, it's still going to be slightly frayed, but I think she comes round, and at this point we get the impression that she's not going to be a cokehead whore anymore.
Well, she said that she hadn't done any for like a week or 2 weeks or whatever, something like that. The one bit in that scene where I'm not ashamed to say I welled up like a bastard is like Lol sort of gave her a cuddle after she, you know, after they'd sort of had a chat and everything, and Lol gave her a cuddle, and then she goes, "I've got you, kid," and I was like, oh.
Yeah, oh man, just everybody in that show. Just so sorry to get so deep for a wee bit there. Probably, like, I think that's going to be an hour and a half of the podcast.
Wow.
I do absolutely love that show, and I've been dying just to wax lyrical about it and get it out of my system, because yes, it can be depressing, it can be hard, but it's very much what England or what Britain was going through at the time. Because what you have to remember as well when you watch the show is every series is set around a social, political sort of time of our lives. I think
what you get throughout the shows, or, you know, at the start of the shows, is you get sort of footage of what was going on in the news. You know, all that kind of thing, like the miners' strikes.
It's also the start of the movie as well. They show you the Falkland War and all that, and you get the Thatcher era and obviously the Rava Cheesy Quaver is everything was going down, and it has a political sort of social setting, but the movie just deals with characters at their absolute core. The TV show as well, sorry, that I don't think there's any other TV show that I've watched in a good number of years that is so character driven and plot driven. There's not many of them out there. It's all this like procedural police drama, like. So for Channel 4 to turn around and put Shane Meadows in a time slot that, like, well, not even just the time slot, but to give him a show on their channel, and Channel 4 had lost their balls for a number of years. They weren't making this hard-hitting, gritty, realistic sort of show anymore. And then along comes Shane Meadows and says, hey, wait, let's have a go at this. And, I mean, I applauded them at the time. I was constantly on Facebook saying, well done for having the balls to put this out there, well done. I thought you'd lost your spine. This meant they hadn't, and This Is England's just great. I implore anybody to watch it. Just don't, in this day and age, in this culture of binge watching, do not binge watch this show.
You'll be for killing yourself. It's on, I watched it on Sky box sets. I couldn't think of the word there. Sky box sets. All 3 series are on Sky box sets, on all 4. Download them now if you've got Sky. Give it a watch because it's awesome.
You will love every character. You will. There'll be parts of everything that you just totally go with. Like I say, just don't binge watch it, and keep a healthy supply of Prozac by your bedside when you watch it. That's all I'm going to say.
Or just listen to the next section of our show, and that'll cheer you up.
Yeah, the next section probably will cheer you up, or you may be for killing yourself right now. So, but before we go on to that.
This promo will definitely make them want to kill themselves.
I'm going to go from one tragicomedy to another tragicomedy, and that is a promo for our good pals, The History of Bad Ideas.
I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Blake from The History of Bad Ideas. And we'll get back to your regularly scheduled program here in just a second, geek listeners. But we do a weekly podcast called The History of Bad Ideas.
Yeah, where we'll discuss things like television or movies or music or games or any other thing that falls into our geek-related podcast knowledge.
You can find us on Geek Life Radio, Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, or Radio-Blitz, Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, or you can listen to us whenever the hell you want on iTunes and Stitcher.
Check us out. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
So, coming up for your absolute listening pleasures, Chris will be reviewing 1985's classic Clue, based on the game Cluedo, isn't it?
It is.
Is it?
What are you speaking like that for?
Yeah, because I'm trying to be all like upbeat now, because we just did like quite a dark section, I feel. So let's get some mojo going.
It didn't really sound classic. It sounded like a wanker, to be honest.
So let's go on to our top 5 before we get to that awesome review from Chris. And the top 5 this week is top 5 actors / actresses that you love that have been in more movies than you can think of. Did you struggle? Did you do okay?
I did all right.
Did you?
Huh?
Did you?
Did you?
Did you go for like main actors or?
Okay, what I did was with mine. There are no leading men.
Yay!
On mine,
neither did I.
Because that's not the point of it. It's the point of it, because your title doesn't fucking point this out. It's actors or actresses that turn up in more movies than you realise.
That's what I said.
No, it isn't.
That is what I said.
No, it isn't.
That's exactly what I said.
No, it isn't.
The prerequisites of what I said in my title of top 5 actors. Go fuck yourself, Chris.
So I didn't go for any leading men or leading ladies in my list. I went for actors or actresses that basically you're watching a movie and you go, huh, I didn't realise he was in this.
That's pretty much
I didn't realise he was in this. That's what I went for.
That's what I did. I've got an eclectic list. Unfortunately, I don't have any ladies, though.
I think I've got one. My original list, I had an original list of 10, and I had 3, but I cut them down because I wanted to put other people in.
So what we will do is I will let you kick off with your number 5.
Okay. So my number 5 actor that is in more movies, or TV shows, it could be TV shows as well, than you realise, is a guy called Victor Garber.
That is Dr. Stein from
Yes, it is.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
Is he?
Is he what?
In more films than I care to remember?
Yes, he is. I mean, look at we've got his IMDb up right now. Look at his IMDb. He's got a list of 129 appearances in movies and TV shows. He's done movies like... Oh, hold on a second. He's appeared in Argo.
Yep.
He's appeared in The Firm, Charlie's Angels. That was a TV series, bygones. He's been in Suits. He was in Kung Fu Panda. He was in 30 Rock. He was in Titanic. He was in The Town.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I like
Nurse Jackie. He was in Nurse Jackie at one point.
I do like him as an actor as well, so I'll give you that.
Milk. And obviously, did I say Titanic already?
Probably, yeah.
Bygones.
Was he not in that that TV show, the spy thing with Jennifer Garner? Was it not a J.J. Abrams TV show? I'm sure he was like the guy in that.
I don't know. What was that called? Alias.
Alias, that was it.
He was in Alias, aye.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he's been in a shitload of things, and you wouldn't realise he had been.
No, you're right. I can honestly say that he's
I'm
not
always right.
I can honestly say that he's not one that I would jump on and say, oh, that's him. So yeah, nice one, Victor Garber.
What's your number 5 then?
My number 5, I need to jiggle my order around here. I bet you thought I was going to say balls there. I didn't, I said order. See, I'm trying to keep it light-hearted now after that little depressing section. So my number 5 is I went straight in with a Kevin Smith alumni, and I went with Ethan Suplee, because every time I see that dude, I go, huh, Ethan Suplee. Do you remember this guy?
No, who's that?
He's the fat one from Mallrats. Staring at the painting, the sailboat.
No.
I shall bring him up on the old IMDb.
Oh, okay, yeah. He was actually not on my list.
So basically you have movies like American History X.
Yep.
He was in My Name is Earl, played Jason Lee's brother. Chasing
Amy.
Amy.
Wolf of Wall Street, yeah.
He was in Wolf of Wall Street, yeah. He's been in some dozen movies. He's one that always pops up for me. I actually have most of his movies written down on another file. But yeah, Ethan Suplee, he's one of those actors that, because he's a Kevin Smith alum, I absolutely love him. So you've got the likes of Wolf of Wall Street, you've got Unstoppable, you've got Fanboys, you've got Mr. Woodcock with Stifler.
Oh yeah, he was the one that gave them the test, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was his name again? Harry Kim? He's the big ginger one. But The Butterfly Effect, Without a Paddle, Remember the Titans, Road Trip, Dogma, American History X, as I said, and Mallrats.
Wow.
He's been in some of those, and he's one that I also I love seeing him. He's not exactly the best actor in the world, but he's good at what he does.
Cool. Okay.
And he's great in My Name as well. He has that one
I
line.
didn't see all of that. I saw a couple of episodes of that, but I never saw the whole thing.
He has that one line because he's a bit of a thicko, isn't he? So there's an episode where at the end they do like the little stingers at the end of the episode, and he's sitting there and he goes, "Why is it that why do people called William get their name shortened to Bill?" And Earl's kind of like, "I have no idea why that is." He's like, "I think it's just a thing." And he goes, "Because you would think if a guy's name was Bill, it would be short for Billiam." So you're number 4, buddy.
My number 4, I'm going to pronounce this right. My number 4 is an actor, we all know him. He's a good actor. The actor is Giovanni Ribisi.
Damn! He was also my he was my number 5, but I changed him to number 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love him. I absolutely love him. Such classic movies as Ted.
But he's been in a shitload of movies. He was in Public Enemies with Johnny Depp. He was in My Name is Earl as well.
Yeah, he was. Aye.
He's been in loads of movies. He's got 90 credits for Selma. He was in Selma, which is a good movie.
I kind of pulled out the
Gangster Squad,
the top picks that I like of his for my list. Like you say, you've got Gangster Squad, you've got Contraband, you've got Gone in 60 Seconds, Boiler Room, Rum Diary, Avatar. He's the guy that calls it unobtainium, which makes him a prick. Million Ways to Die in the West, Flight of the Phoenix, Sky Captain, Cold Mountain. He's been in some of those. He's been in everything. Saving Private Ryan. He's been in everything.
The Postman.
And one of my favourites, That Thing You Do. I absolutely used to love that movie.
Oh, I thought you meant... Okay, bye.
You know the Tom Hanks movie? Did I ever tell you look good in red? You look great in red. So yeah, totally, that was going to be my number 4 as well, because I juggled my list about. So yeah, well done.
Thank you very much.
Sames.
So what's your number 3?
My number 3, I will have to have another look. I went with John C. McGinley. Played Dr. Cox in Scrubs.
Yes.
He has also been in just about fucking everything. Like would you like me to rattle my list off here?
Rattle away.
You got the likes of Alex Cross, which was not great, but he was in it. Wild Hogs, World Trade Center with Nicolas Cage, Identity with John Cusack, Highway with Jake Gyllenhaal, which I love. He's the hitchhiker that they take to Kurt Cobain's funeral. Any Given Sunday, Office Space, which we both love. Nothing to Lose, The Rock, 7, Point Break, and Highlander 2.
Well, shit.
Highlander 2, people.
He was in Highlander 2?
Yep.
Fuck me.
If you're in Highlander 2, you've pretty much made it.
Oh, yeah.
In my eyes. And, of course, Platoon and Wall Street, which I love John C. McGinley. When I see him in a movie, I know I'm in for a good ride.
Yeah.
Like, good ride? Poor choice of words.
It's all right. Don't worry.
Literally, my top 5 is actors that when I do see them in a movie, I'm like, yeah, I know that this is going to be pretty cool because I love that guy.
Yeah.
Apart from Alex Cross, because that movie was shit.
Was that the one that had him from Lost?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crappy.
And it had, is it Tyler Perry's in it?
Dear.
It's like a spiritual like brother to Along Came a Spider, which was Morgan Freeman's movie.
Right.
Yeah, shit.
No.
Was it Along Came a Spider or Kiss the Girls? It was one of those two.
Kiss the Girls was first, then Along Came a Spider was second, I think.
So yeah, John C. McGinley.
Cool.
Plus, he's amazing in Scrubs.
Yes, he is. I think probably he's the only reason I kept on watching the show, to be honest. So my number 3 was it is a British actor, and he's been in a shitload of movies, a lot of movies. He's kind of bordering on the what we said before. He'll kind of do anything. He has 207 credits to his name on IMDb, and it is Brian Cox.
Yeah, he is in everything.
He is in everything.
Jeez.
He's in Penny Dreadful right now.
Yep.
I love that show. He was in Pixels, which kind of gives you an indication. He's done a lot of movies. An Adventure in Space and Time, which was for the Doctor Who 50th anniversary, which was fucking good. That was a good. I think it was like a 90-minute thing.
Did you ever see him in 25th Hour with Ed Norton?
Yes, I did.
Great. He's awesome in that.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He was in that.
Yeah. I do love Brian Cox. He was in the horror movie The Ring. He was the adoptive father of Samura or whatever her name was in the American version. I can never remember.
So yeah, but you know what? If you see that Brian Cox is going to be in the movie, you know you're getting a good performance. It's Brian Cox.
It kind of raises the level of the
Exactly.
movie you're about to watch.
Exactly.
Did you ever see his performance of Hannibal Lecter in Manhunter?
No, I did not.
Great. Not a patch on Anthony Hopkins. I mean, I'll never take anything away from Anthony Hopkins in that role.
I've heard he is good.
But he's fantastic in that. Manhunt is a great movie. I would still have liked to have seen him. They got Anthony Hopkins in it. And if you got Anthony Hopkins, you know, he's in the next Transformers. So
well, you know,
pedigree.
Yep. So what's your number 2?
I'm going to keep bringing that one up. My number 2 is the awesome actor Luis Guzman. And if you don't know who Luis Guzman is, you are an absolute moron, because he has literally been in everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything.
Wasn't he in Ant-Man?
No. That's Michael Pena. But close.
No, I thought he was in there as well. No?
He might have been, but he's not on the list. He's currently, you can see him on TV in Cold Black. He's great in that. Are you watching Cold Black at all? I love Cold Black. Cold
seen
Black.
Narcos?
Yeah, he was in Narcos as well. But I'll just pick out some of the ones I like. He was in Where the Millers as Mexican cop. Clearly he's Mexican. Yeah. No, that's the name of that show that I was talking about. It's not Irish Jack, it's Republic of Doyle. So Journey to the Mysterious Island. He was in an episode of Community, which, you know, is one of our shows that we love. Old Dogs, The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, Fighting with Christian Bale. Still Waiting, and he was also in Waiting, the one with Ryan Reynolds when they work in the restaurant called Shenanigans, and they basically just take the piss out of everybody that comes in. The Yes Man, Beverly Hills Chihuahua. I mean, come on, this man has been in every single movie. He's kind of like Danny Trejo in that way. Like, he's literally done everything. So I'm not going to go too far into it, but I do want to point out the fact that he was in Carlito's Way. And I love Carlito's Way.
Oh, yeah.
If you've done a movie with Al Pacino, you're awesome.
Adventures of Pluto Nash as well.
Adventures of Pluto Nash.
Can't overlook that shit.
Anger Management, Confidence. He was in an episode of Frasier. Welcome to Collinwood, Punch Drunk Love, County Monte Cristo.
I actually quite liked that movie.
That was a good movie. It was a great movie. Traffic
was good as well.
Traffic was good. A few episodes of Oz. Did you ever watch Oz? I used to love Oz.
No.
That was like the prison drama that wasn't afraid to be a prison drama. Like, people were getting up the bum and stuff all the time.
Dear.
And one of my favourite movies of all time, Magnolia. So yeah, Luis Guzman number 2.
Cool.
I probably could have put him at number 1 because my number 1's probably going to seem like a bit of a downer now.
My number 2 is a woman of the opposite gender.
Of the opposite gender, so that makes her a man if she's a woman of the opposite gender.
No, fuck that.
The fairer of the females.
This woman has been in a lot of movies, a lot of different kinds of movies. It is Joan Allen.
Ah, shit, yeah, she has been in everything.
She's been in the Bourne movies. She was in Luck.
She's been in one of our favourite movies of all time, Face Off.
Fuck yes, Face Off. Aye. She did a voice in Skyrim as well. Death Race with what's his name?
Oh, Christ.
Jason Statham.
Jesus.
Bloody hell. I mean,
anything for a paycheck.
Pleasantville, Face Off, The Crucible, which I fucking love, The Crucible. Nixon, she was in that. Yeah, again, similar to Brian Cox. If you see her, if you see that this woman's going to be in your movie, then in the movie, then you know you're getting a good performance out of her. She's a cracking actress.
100%. I love Joan Allen, but I could do with seeing her in a bit more.
I think she's got the capability, but she's never.
She's not leading lady
she's
material.
Not leading lady.
To be fair,
but she is a good actress.
She's great. So yeah, my number 1. Now this is a guy, and it's a bit of a left field choice. To be fair, I'm not sure everybody's going to agree with me on this one, but every time I see him, I absolutely love him. The man's name is Clifton Collins Jr.
Yeah, he was actually on.
Was he on your
honourable
mention?
Aye.
I absolutely love this guy. He's another one who, as soon as I see him on screen, I know I'm getting a good performance, because even though he's very rarely a main sort of up there character, he's great. The last thing I watched him in was 999, which he was in with Norman Reedus, and it's actually a decent movie with a brilliant. No, sorry, it's a movie with a decent cast, but a shit story.
Right, okay.
But everybody's in it, and it's just a terrible flick, but it's got some great performances, like Woody Harrelson's in there, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Kate Winslet, playing a completely different Kate Winslet role that I've ever seen.
Wow.
She's like a Russian mob boss, and she's actually quite sexy for a little bit of the movie. I was kind of like...
Sexier than the nun in Extras.
A little bit, yeah. Everybody's in it, but he was in movies like Transcendence with Johnny Depp, Pacific Rim, Parker with Jason Statham. He was one half of the Milk and Eggs bitch in Scott Pilgrim.
Yes, he was, yep.
The movie called The Experiment, which is all about what was that prison experiment called? It had a full name, like the Stanton Experiment or the something. I can't remember the name of it. It was about that, and it was a great film. Boondock Saints 2, how can you forget that? Norman Reedus is in that as well. Crank 2, Star Trek, the JJ reboot, Barbel, Capote, Mindhunters, Rules of Attraction, Last Castle, Traffic, Tigerland, Dead Presidents, Men of Society.
Love Tigerland.
I absolutely love Clifton Collins Jr. And when I see him, because I'm one of these people that when I'm watching a movie and the credits come up, I'm literally looking at every name that's coming up. And I'm not happy until I get like 6 names in, and I'm still seeing people that I'm like, oh, I love him. And if I see his name, because it's usually 6 or 7 deep, if I see his name, I'm happy, because he's done so many movies I love, even Pacific Rim.
Pish.
Which there's a second one coming out now. It's pretty much like done now. It's getting done.
Shite.
John Boyega though.
Oh, I don't care. It's still going to be shite.
So your number one,
my
my friend.
Yes.
Is it not Clifton Collins Jr.?
No, it's not.
No,
it's not. This is a guy. I know I said at the start where I didn't put any leading men in, but he's done one movie where he was a leading man.
Oh well, you're allowed that.
Yeah, but he's an actor that is in a lot of movies, but you don't really notice him there. Well, you do, but you don't. It's Carl Urban.
Been in fucking everything. He has been.
Exactly.
Yeah, I give you that.
Now, the idea of this top 5 was when I was watching Return of the King last week.
So that
he's
works
in there. Yeah, I had another splurge of ideas.
Oh, great.
I do like a splurge.
At least we've got ideas coming out your arse.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, he's a cracking actor. He was awesome in Dread. Just give him a fucking series already.
He's extremely underrated.
He is underrated. I mean, he's Bones, and you mentioned JJ there with
who the
Clifton
fuck?
Collins.
Who knew he was going to take that role and run with it? And I didn't think there was any way Carl Urban was going to be... Because when I think of Carl Urban, I think of the Chronicles of Riddick, when he's like that big beefy guy taking on Vin Diesel and that. And I'm thinking, that's not Bones. And then the second he comes on screen in Star Trek, you're sitting there going, that's Bones.
Yep.
He's totally Bones. And all he's got left is his bones.
Yep. So that was our top 5.
That was our top 5. Did you have any
The only feedback that we had was Brigger put in Rob Schneider.
Prick.
But fuck him.
I had on an honourable mention, I said Jason Lee, because he's in literally everything, but that man will do anything for a paycheck now, so I didn't want to bring him up.
I've not really seen him in anything.
He's just making chipmunk movies left, right and centre.
Oh,
now.
shit, right, okay.
That's going to keep him working for a good couple of years, so he'll be fine.
Are they still churning those out, are they?
Yeah, they are still churning out chipmunk movies.
Dear.
Much to my dismay. Do you have any honourable mentions?
No, I don't.
No? I thought you had a list of like 20 and then
I kind of thought, what's the point? I'm just going to... If they're not in my top 5, they're dead to me.
you're just going to wing it.
Yeah.
So, we are going to move on to the last section of the podcast, which is where Chris is going to review the classic 1985 movie, Clue. So we will move on to that, but first I would like to play one of my favourite promos from one of my top 5 podcast shows, and that is Astro Radio Z.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum!
Astro Radio Z is a horror, cult, exploitation film podcast hosted by me, Derek Carey. I was one of those monster kids growing up. The one that used to sit in the back end of that video store and scour over every single last film cover you saw back there, from the slashers to the monsters to the sleazy stuff. Yeah, I was freaking obsessed. And I still am. So much so I became a filmmaker myself. Now I bring on all my filmmaker friends, critics, musicians, and any other fans of the dark arts, which are horror, exploitation, and cult film. Are you one of these people? Then tune in and listen to my show, Astro Radio Z.
Love that promo.
I do love that promo.
You know what it is? That has got to be the most played promo on our show, because I absolutely love that promo. And every time it gets to the end, it goes... I fucking love it, man. Absolutely love it. Do you listen to that, Astro Radio Z?
No, I've not listened to them yet, no.
I listen to them quite a bit. Derek's pretty cool. But they have... when they do the reviews, they tend to do like group reviews of certain like franchise movies every now and then. And they get this woman on, I think she's called Angelique. And my God, like, if you could fall in love with the voice, it's definitely... But she literally has, like, probably the pottiest mouth on their podcast.
Not like that.
And she's great. She's absolutely brilliant. But she doesn't mince her words, I have to say. So, yeah, Astro Radio Z, have a listen to them. They are great. And that promo is excellent. So, Chris,
Kev,
you watched Clue because you lost your title
Yes,
shot.
I challenged Kev again
Silly
to the 365 title.
Silly fool.
And I lost again.
And again and again and again.
No, I'm taking it eventually. That came out wrong.
Eventually. Who do you think you is? So
I watched, after being challenged by Kev, and kind of being called a bit of a prick by Brugger for not having seen it.
He wasn't happy.
He wasn't happy, no. Well, I've seen it now.
And to be fair, I only gave you this one because I couldn't think of fuck all else.
I've still got a movie for you when I win it.
Oh.
And I'm not being kind to you after this, because this was actually okay.
Are you precious about like giving me a bad movie? Like this
I am now.
This is something that needs to happen.
Well, after Turbo Kid, yes.
Turbo Kid was awesome.
That wasn't.
If I win that again, you're watching Turbo Kid again.
Oh, fuck, I'm not.
Right. So, what was the movie you watched? Tell me all about
The
it.
movie I watched was Clue, released in 1985, as we've already said.
Numerous times.
Yeah, numerous times. The movie it's got an okay cast in there. You've got Tim Curry, who is always fucking awesome. Christopher Lloyd, bit of a young Christopher Lloyd, but
yeah, I didn't recognise him straight away.
No, and I just wanted him to say Great Scott.
Yeah, needed to happen.
But you know, you've got a couple of other characters in there who have been in stuff. You know, we're doing that tonight. So you've got Michael McKean, who's been in a few things. Martin Mull, Colleen Camp. They've been, you know, if you look into their IMDb's, they've been in a good few things. So yeah, as we said, this is the movie version of Cluedo. or Clue, as they call it in America. They couldn't just keep Cluedo.
Because Americans.
They couldn't just keep Cluedo.
America's so white and stuff.
Stupid.
It is called Cluedo. Let's just call it Cluedo.
So it's a movie version of Cluedo, set in 1954 in New England, in America. You know what? Okay, I'll not go through every single fucking thing that happens in the movie. I'll start off by saying that as a movie based on a board game, this is actually quite well done.
So is it as good as Battleship?
It's better than Battleship. Because I actually started off by saying, so it's a Cluedo movie then? Can't be any worse than Battleship. Better, it's quite well executed. Basically what happens is strangers who have all received letters, they're all invited to this old mansion in New England. So they've been invited here anonymously, and they've all been given, sort of code names like Colonel Mustard, Miss Scarlet, Mrs. Peacock, etc., etc. So they've all been invited here. Nobody's allowed to say who anybody is. They tried to go for a bit of an Inspector Calls type vibe, but it didn't really work. No. It was too much of a sort of romp.
Too much of a...
For that kind of thing.
A comedy.
Shut up. So they all arrive there. They all sit down for a meal, like an awkward meal, and then a guy comes in who is called Mr. Body. So you can assume right away he's going to be the first one to die, and he is. Mm-hmm. So they sort of they go back and forward. There's different plot points thrown around, different twists thrown around. They're all being blackmailed by a mystery guy, and they're all being blackmailed in different ways for different reasons. And then it turns out that Mr. Body is the blackmailer. Yep. They all kind of introduce themselves and all that kind of thing. Something that sort of sparked my attention was one of the characters confessed to being gay, and everybody kind of went, oh! Everybody looked at him like he'd taking a shit on the floor, and I just wrote down 1985. Everybody,
there's a lot of ass grabbing in this movie.
There is, and
again, 1985.
Colleen Camp, bless her, isn't given a lot to wear. She's the one who's the maid, the French maid, and bless her tits are all kinds of out.
Which, to be fair, is a selling point for the movie.
Aye. Mr. Buddy turns out to be the one who's blackmailing them all, and then he tells them to kill Wadsworth, who is Tim Curry.
Yep.
He switches the lights off and then gets murdered. And that's where it all kind of kicks off and all that kind of thing. Then it turns out Mr. Wadsworth, Tim Curry, was the one who sends the letters, because they're all being blackmailed for being un-American.
Wow.
Yeah. The first genuine laugh I had in the movie, proper genuine laugh, because like the dinner scene kind of went on a little bit too long. There were a few scenes like that throughout the movie that kind of, if I had a gripe, that I would say that they went on too long. They took them too far, particularly towards the... Have you seen it? Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen it.
Towards the end of the movie, there's a scene where they're kind of recapping it all, and they're all running about the house to the different rooms that they've been in, which it's okay because they're like doing the sum up that you would do in the game.
Yeah.
So it's okay, but it goes on for fucking ever.
Plus, it's Tim Curry and Tim Curry and all over the place.
He's Tim Currying all over the place. I think that was one of the notes I wrote down, actually. So one of the first genuine laughs was Mrs. Peacock was going to faint. Tim Curry goes to catch her in her arms, and then she just kind of falls all the way through and onto the floor. Tim Curry's amazing. He's fucking amazing. Then a motorist comes to the door. He's broken down. He wants to use the phone. The reason I bring this up was it's actually the guy who plays Chief Brody's deputy in Jaws 2.
Right.
And he also plays Towser in Santa Claus the movie, if you're interested in that. Yeah, and another genuine laugh I wanted to bring up was they all decide to sort of split up. They're going to go into pairs and search the house for the murderer and all that. The French maid says that she's going to be scared to go on her own, and who's going to come with me. And so all of the guys go, I'll go, and then the gay guy goes, no, thank you. I thought that was
1985.
1985, yeah.
You've got to love it.
So again, speaking of scenes that go on forever, they're searching the house, and I actually had a cheeky power nap, and I don't know how long I was asleep for, but they were still searching when I woke up.
Right.
This actually happened. I'm not making it up.
It must have been a cheeky power nap then.
Yeah, I think it may be 5-10 minutes, but they were still bloody well searching. The motorist is murdered with the wrench. Later on, the copper who comes to the door is murdered with the lead pipe in the library. The maid is murdered with the rope in the billiards room. It's just cool. It's just a Cluedo movie.
Aye.
It's cool. And they also put secret passages in through around the house, just as you would with the board game. So that all of that is actually really cool. And then there's a singing telegram for some random ass reason who gets shot on the porch. Another genuine laugh. The copper gets a phone call and it's supposed to be J. Edgar Hoover. So they ask Tim Curry why would J. Edgar Hoover be on his phone, and he says, I don't know, he's on everybody else's, why wouldn't he be on mine? Which I thought was just, I laughed at that. So yeah, they go for the recap, running around the house like mentalists, doing the recap. It was funny, but it went on too long and it got stupid.
Yeah. And then when it's finished, does it not say something like, that's how it could have happened?
They do that at the end.
Yeah.
They kind of go through it all. It kind of turns out an episode of Murder, She Wrote, where it turns out it's Miss Scarlet. And then she kind of monologues and it turns out a Murder, She Wrote, where she said, I would have gotten away for it if it wasn't for you pesky kids type thing. So they've all got connections to Mr. Body and all that kind of thing. Miss Scarlet did it, and then the police take her away. But then the end credits start, but you get a card saying, well, wait a minute. And it's like the cards are like the cards that you would get in Cluedo, So what if it ended like this? Right. And then it does it where I think it's Mrs. Peacock that did it.
Yeah.
And then they do another one where it was Tim Curry who did it, and the guy who's gay is actually an FBI agent. And then the very, very final line in the movie is, I'm going home and have sex with my wife. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of does a freeze frame and then it ends. So that's the movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was a stupid movie. It's a kind of like one of those airplane type movies, kind of thing. Completely
nowhere near as good as Airplane.
Nowhere, no. Just completely bloody daft. Yeah. Absolutely daft. Tim Curry had me laughing like hell at different points in the movie. I don't think the movie would have been as funny if it wasn't for him.
No.
Christopher Lloyd and the others have their moments too. Quite like Mrs. Peacock. But yeah, Tim Curry, as you say, Tim Curry and all over the place, especially when they're running about doing the recap. It was funny. It was a good movie. Well, no, good is a strong word. It was a movie. I think it's got 4 stars on Netflix, which is what I watched it on.
Jesus
but then,
Christ.
like, Turbo Kid has 4.5. So,
so Turbo Kid's better.
Turbo Kid is not better. I enjoyed the movie. I would recommend it. If you're wanting a stupid movie to, put on and have a laugh at just for no reason, I would recommend people watch it. It had some good one-liners in it, had some good physical comedy in it, and it was a good tribute to Cluedo, which you don't get in these movies who are like fucking Battleship or
nothing wrong with Battleship.
Oh, shut up! Movies who are trying to remake video games and just don't manage it. But this was actually quite a good tribute to Cluedo. I suppose Cluedo is an easier game to make into a movie.
Yeah. It's a murder mystery, so yeah.
But it was a nice, light-hearted movie and a good tribute to Cluedo.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, I hadn't seen it for a long, long time, and I remembered when I did see it, I remembered liking it, and I remembered thinking it was funny. And I watched it again the other night in preparation because I can't let you just watch it by yourself, and I realised that it's just not that funny, and I just don't like it. Simple. I did the same as you, and I had a cheeky power nap, but I think it was from like minute 10 till like minute 90. Like, it wasn't so much a power nap. So the next day I put it on again, and yeah, it's not for me. Like, I can't recommend this movie. Having said that, it is exactly like Cluedo. Sorry, it's great the way they get the sensibilities of the game in there. Like you say, with the card coming up. They all get a present, and it's a weapon each. Yeah. You've got the hidden walls, you've got the different rooms. Everybody gets murdered with a different thing, and then you get the recap, like you say. In that way, I thought, yes, this is how you make. It's a board game, but this is how you make a game into a movie. It was done perfectly. It had some pretty good actors in it, not exactly given performances of their life. But people rave about Clue from back in the day, and I remembered it being much funnier. Not a patch on Airplane.
I don't think I would watch it again.
Yeah,
if I wanted a daft comedy, I would watch Airplane.
Which was a shame, because I remembered it being hilarious.
Yeah.
And then when I watched it, I was maybe it's just because I'm a little bit older, and I've seen Airplane now. which is still probably my all-time favourite comedy ever. I love
That was your
it.
number one, wasn't it? Yeah.
I
when we did
love
that.
Airplane. It's just so funny, and when you want to talk about one-liners, that movie's got them all over. It's all right. It's good. I don't think it holds up, but I felt that you needed to watch it, if only for Brigger to stop giving you shit.
Yeah, so there you go, Brigger.
That one was for him. But I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. It was it's a movie. That's your
It's what was
that's
it?
your sort of snippet. It's a movie from
what-
365 Flicks podcast.
What was it Joe's been saying on This Week's Another, that it's not a good movie, it's not a bad movie, it's a movie. I did steal that from him, but he stole it from Reigns, so
Well, there you go.
because he loves Roman Reigns.
He does love Roman Reigns.
He is his favourite wrestler of all time, so I've heard. What are you going to watch next time? Because obviously I'll be picking the next movie for you.
Well, I'm going to need to challenge you for the title in the next episode, aren't I?
Yeah.
So we'll need to decide something that we can do.
Bring on them challenges. If you want to do another movie quiz about Peter Jackson eating a fucking carrot in
Fucking
the background, I'm all for it. But I suppose that brings us to the end of this marvellous episode 41.
Yeah, it's been an okay episode.
It's not been bad. I think it went dark for a little while.
Well, it was a dark subject matter, though.
We
warned them. What
I might do when I edit it is put some really sort of moody Shane Meadows sort of This Is England music in the background, just to really kind of hammer home that it's a dire subject.
Or just when you talk about the rapey bits, put Benny Hill in there.
Aye, I'll go for that. What, me doing it or?
No, get the actual music. Don't
Yeah.
put people through that. Jesus.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
So this has been episode 41 of the 365 Flicks podcast. If you want to reach out to us, we're on the Twitters and Facebook. Just type in 365 Flicks pod and you'll find us. We're there. Just leave us a little cheeky message. You can email us on the, the email address. I can never remember it.
Oh, yeah. Rant at 365flixpodcast.co.uk.
That's an easy one.
And also drop by the website, which is
Yeah.
all awesome and cool and shiny and things.
It's not awesome and cool, but it is shiny.
It's shiny then, okay. Which is 365flixpodcast.co.uk.
Which is awesome. Mm-hmm. And it's got all of our episodes, and I've started doing comic book reviews and stuff like that. And
Yeah, I've not been doing anything on it.
we are on, I just want to thank the networks again. We're on Wicked Radio Network, we're on Tangible Network, we're on nerdly.co.uk, our British home, because every British podcast needs a British. I haven't said that for a while. It seemed like a catchphrase. It didn't stick, though. It didn't take. We're on Kiki Antics Network Global. Yeah.
Ha!
Shit. And we are on the awesome Weeby Geeks, where just about all of our friendly neighbourhood podcasts reside.
And HOBI.
And HOBI, yeah. We haven't really slammed them this episode. We haven't really had a dig.
Not really.
A couple of cheap jibes that I think will go over their heads because,
Well, they're Americans, stupid.
British humour and Americans and
Yeah.
shit. So we're in all of those places. We're on the iTunes, and if you're listening to us on the iTunes, hit that subscribe, which you probably already have if you're listening, because you kind of have to. Rate and review us. Give us 5 stars. I mean, I always say cheeky 3 to 5 stars.
5 stars.
But you're adamant that we should be getting 5. We have some pretty cool episodes coming up. We have the Damp Night guys coming on soon.
Yes, we do.
That's about it.
And we're also going to be doing an episode with Big Dev next week.
Yeah, supposedly that's happening.
So that's next Wednesday, I believe, is it?
So what do you think the percentages of arguments is going to be like? Because when he starts his fucking bullshit about financial success of BVS, I'm going to lose my shit.
We're not speaking about BVS.
Are we going to keep away from that
We'll
topic?
keep away from that.
You know I'm going to be biting
Because-
my tongue the whole time then.
Oh, I don't think you'll shut up the whole time, to be honest.
And we're not going to give too much away, but we've been spitballing a new idea for sort of a different kind of an episode. It won't be the normal sort of news.
It's not really going to be an episode, is it? It's
Not really. It's something interesting that we've wanted to try for a while. So keep your ears out for that. We'll obviously let you all know in due time. I think we're just trying to work out the kinks a little bit.
Yeah.
And we've got some really cool stuff coming. So keep on fucking listening, because I look at the stats. I see you listening. So just thank you to everybody who does listen and putting up with our bullshit. So from Chris over there, would you like to say goodbye to the listener?
Yep, goodbye, listeners and stuff and things.
And from me, Kevin Halden, your current 365 Flicks champion, I just want to say one thing.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money,
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then your talking don't matter. Ching, ching, bling, bling, patent pockets. We take the dollar, dollar, can a damn soul stop it?
Need to decide what my winning music is going to be.
You don't need winning music.
I do.
No, you don't.
No, I do.
You're never ever going to win.
I am.
That belt is staying.
You know what'll really piss me off is if I win it,
Right.
and then like a month later I'll fucking lose it.
I have held it for a while. Like I'm kind of turning into like the streak is going to be unbeaten. Like, can I start the streak? I am 3-0.
Well, you more, yeah.
I'll start the streak. 3-0, baby.
Wow, that was loud shit.
So yeah,
Aye.
365 Flicks, episode 41, signing out. 42 coming soon. Peace.